his work. Let's see what happens here out at weight.
Paul Hutchison and John Norton, our umpires, as we start round 9 and head towards the halfway mark in season 2017. Compston up in the ruck for Golden Square, straight down to bed, and the Dogs come forward through Tracy, whose kick was smothered. Getting there to cut it off was Noonan. Stolen by Morecambe. 45 seconds in, Morecambe has a shot, but misses to the right-hand side. And away to the right for one behind. Not even 45 seconds. That'll be about 15 seconds, Johnny. I got well ahead of myself there. So the first score on the board is a minor to the Dogs as Dave Stevens kicks it in and finds Wayne Schultz at half-back.
Who did Australia play during the week, Joel?
In the cricket.
Soccer?
Oh, Brazil.
Yeah,
yes, 12 seconds in.
Nearly had that beat first up out.
Schultz kicked it down the Maroney wing and it just tumbled over the boundary line in front of Dorrington for Golden Square.
Yeah, lucky they got away with it too, Johnny, because I'd imagine that'd be pretty demoralising.
Yeah.
To come out and the other mob just run forward and kick a goal within 10 seconds.
Should have kicked it indeed. Osborough is doing the ruck work for the Magpies. We're on half forward here, but receiving a handball is Huntley. Huntley will now kick it inside forward 50. He's got Joel Smith. Oh, they got the numbers here, the Magpies. It's just flicked out though, still 50 out from goal. Going in hard there was Mitch Tracy. He flicked the ball in no particular advantage of his teammate. Huntley again, he's racking up possessions, gives a handball to Schultz. He'll have a flying shot at goal, open goal, bouncing ball! And it's just over the line for a minor score. Good
nice
build
kick
up.
Off the boot. He is 55 out.
Magpies, 1 point apiece. Here it is. It's 1.5 into the first as we take you inside local sport. Thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Nice aggressive start from both sides as Dalrymple drops the mark at half back. Ball over the line to be thrown back in at half forward for Castlemaine on the outer side. So 2 gone in the first. Square with an opportunity through Morecambe from long range before Schultz missed one at the other end, and we're tied up at 1 behind apiece. Compston decisively. Toma lost it. Lowry picked it up. Handball to Dalrymple, who's gang tackled at half-back. Didn't get the handball away in time, and he's pinged for holding the footy. And the Magpies will have the free kick at half-forward again, and they've gotten a little bit smaller up forward too, which I don't mind seeing, Johnny, with Smith and Blake both up there.
Yeah, they're they've got the opportunity to take the lead here. Is this Tommy Horn with the football?
I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Tommy Horn. He's got the short sleeves on, Joel.
Yep, and the black boots coming back into the side this afternoon. Tommy Horn, Box Hill with the VFL bye, the best and fairest winner from last season. Will have to kick from outside the 50, from 55 metres out on the left boot, thumps it long to the line. Coe gets up along with Compston, and they make sure that it doesn't go through for the first goal of the game. 2 behinds the Magpies, Square 1 behind, 2.5 gone thanks to Aussie Disposal.
Wow, they're moving it quickly here. The Bulldogs into the middle there, picked up by Adam Baird, trying to get a clean position. Flicked out to Jake Thrum, little one to half forward. They're okay. Morecambe, little handball on half forward. It was effective, but it wasn't clean, and Robinson intercepts for the Magpies. He'll now go off half back. Long kick to half forward, a whistle.
Netball.
Netball. Geez, that one might get me, not for the first time this afternoon. Now we're here on the wing. Picked up well by Toma, went one way, then the other. He dished it off to Tracy. Tracy will go to the outer side wing, looking for much. He'll dish it off by hand to a teammate. He'll kick it long, and a mark has been taken there outer side.
Dorrington's done his shoulder here, Johnny. Right shoulder for Braden Dorrington. He's had a history of popping it out, and I reckon he might have done it again. Not a good sign for the vice-captain.
No, in fact, that ball was out of bounds on the fall, and Schultz took a free kick. He goes backwards to Joel Smith from Newstead. Joel Smith kicks it to Dave Stevens. They've worked it across the back line. Now he'll bring it up to the wing to Cal Huntley. Cal Huntley got one in the back from Adam Baird, and Cal Huntley is racking up the possessions there, Joel.
Yeah, as he usually does. Dorrington going off the ground in the hands of the trainer. We have seen him do that and then come back on in games, so we won't write him off yet. He's a tough nut to crack.
Stevens is picking up Jack Geary.
And Geary starting deep forward, which is interesting. Dennehy down the line, thumping kick. Dalrymple, third man up, knocks it to ground. Horn did well. He gave Walters the big don't argue, but handball into traffic, cut off by the Dogs. Dalrymple to Toma, to Morecambe, who dives in on top of the footy, got collected. Horn goes back in, shovels it out towards Graham. He's tackled under immense pressure at half forward here, Castlemaine. Got a lot of the footy, but can't get a clean disposal. Then the tackle slips high from Horn on Dalrymple, so Michael Dalrymple will have a free kick across half-back for the Dogs and chip it to centre half-back. A good kick, and he's found Braden Welsh.
Welsh will go to the top by hand to Tommy Toma. He'll go to the outer side wing. He kicks it to a contest, 1-on-1. Oh, it did well here. Long kick off the left. This is Golden Square. Bring it inside, forward 50. Oh, Travis Bear had a lot of that ball, but Magpies will mop up through Adam Robinson. He's had a couple of possessions. Intended target was Huntley. Couldn't find him. Compston gets it now for the Bulldogs. Gives it by hand to Morecambe. Morecambe by hand to a teammate. That was okay to Toma. Toma to Tracy, but they mucked it up. The ball spills to the wing. Good work there by Humphrey. Humphrey to a teammate, and they'll kick it inboard, and a steady mark's been taken by Much.
So Much spreads it wide. Good kick for Thrum. 65 metres out. Jakey Thrum gets back on the left peg. Lovely kick for Anderson, who runs on. Anderson to the pocket. Will open him up from 35 under no pressure at all. Stroll in and put it way across the face. And out of bounds on the full. Should have done a lot better from there, Clayton Anderson.
Yeah, tighten up a bit, Magpie defence. You're right, Joel. No pressure whatsoever on Anderson.
Yeah, it was Anthony Robbins who did not want to go anywhere near him. And Golden Square have already shown that they are pretty happy to take the ball back through the corridor in this game and really not feeling the pressure at all from the Magpies. Hansford in the back pocket. Lasers one down the line. Just got over the head of Rosengren. Trying to keep it in was Robbins. Couldn't when the boundary intersects the 50. We will have a ball in. Left half forward for Golden Square. Magpies are two behinds. Golden Square are one behind. 6 gone first term thanks to Bendigo Renault and Bendigo's Fresh FM. Been a really fast game start to the game, Wallace.
It's been good so far. Castlemaine just making some skill errors out of defence with their kicking.
Oh, Reece Jenkins, it was a dangerous kick. Schultz won the ball, then lost it off 50. Bursting through the pack there was Adam Baird. Gives it to a teammate who will now bomb it long. It's Much, I think, who has put it straight to the goal line, but Robinson a saving mark for the Magpies. He'll bring it to the broadcast side.
This is the kick has been the problem, Johnny, about half back. They've been turning it over.
You're right, Wallace. He's had a lot of the ball. Huntley will now go short, over the top by foot. He'll find Zach Hansford, the skipper for the Magpies.
Probably the two that you'd want it in the hands of, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really good, accomplished players. They've been around for a couple of years now. Hansford, not quite sure where to go. He'll dump it down the line. He'll be looking for Blake. In there, good contested ball was Dalrymple. Offering support is Coe, but Blake wins the football. Tried to give a handball, then lost it. Still got the football, gives it to Joel Smith. By hand, he'll go backward to Hansford. Hansford then tries to give it to Chester by hand, and it was all manic football and ended up over the boundary line just in front of us.
Good footy by both sides. A lot of pressure applied by Square then.
2 points to the Magpies. Golden Square 1 on Big Footy. Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Ball chucked back in over the head of both Ruckman, Osbro and Compston. Eventually Morecambe with a clever little tap around the corner to Anderson, who tumbles one inside the forward 50 for the for the Dogs. It's going to come back out though. Good kick down the line from Robinson, and Chester's got it at half back, right in front of our broadcast position. Beautiful sunny conditions here at Wade Street. 8 gone first term, and it's 2 behind the Magpies. Golden Square 1 behind. Baird collects off half back off a big pack for the Dogs and goes galloping through the centre of the ground. 1 bounce, runs his measure, tumbles one inside forward 50. Travis Baird back spot, couldn't take it. Hood's able to mop up. Handball to Stevens, handball to Robbins, and he chisels one around the corner, and sliding in at half back is Chester.
Chester will bring it down the broadcast side, looking for Huntley. Right, hugs the boundary line. It's okay. He takes a mark. He'll try to bring it back into the corridor, looking for Jenkins. It was dangerous. They'll muck it up here. Gives it back to Danahy. Danahy to Jenkins by hand. A little bit of a don't argue. Wasn't good enough. He's going to be pinged. The umpire called a free kick. No, he gives the advantage. They take it Golden Square, and it's not going to be advantage at all. Now with Stevens deep in the back pocket around the corner, and a mark has been taken by Robinson.
Good start, Jackson Hood, who's got the job on Travis Baird. Been solid early. Good young player is Jackson Hood. Here's Robinson in the back pocket. Goes short and finds Schultz. Needs to use it here, does Wayne Schultz. No use getting the footy in this position and then just chipping it to someone. So he's going to thump it long outside the defensive 50. Toward the boundary line. Horn up in front. Good strong mark in the pack. That's what he's in the side for, Tommy Horn. His kick inboard was poor. Floated over the head of his teammate and let Baird in. So Adam Baird's got it just outside the centre square. Comes inboard and finds Thrum at true centre half forward. So just inside the centre square, Thrum lets it go inside the forward 50. And one man you don't want to give any space to is Jack Geary. And the skipper's got it 45 metres out, just about directly in front.
He's playing deep. Yeah, that kick, that last kick from defence, like Castlemaine defence holding up, are under a lot of pressure, but that kick's letting them out.
So Geary breezed at his back from 49 metres out, lines them up and makes a very welcome return to senior footy for the Dogs.
How's that?
Lovely kick from Jack Geary, was never going to miss. And Golden Square regained the lead. 1-1-7, Castlemaine are 2 behind. 10 gone opening term, so it took a little while for our first goal, but it's thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets, as we take you inside Bendigo Sport.
Ball has spent a lot of time in the forward 50 for Golden Square in this game, but it's that kick, Johnny, at half back. If you turn it over there, it'll come back really quickly, and it has been. You go from out of trouble to back into trouble quickly if you don't get it right.
Yeah, up they go in the ruck. Compston won the ruck contest. He punches it forward. Pack forms in the area as Welsh. He's playing in the middle as well for the Bulldogs, but we'll have another ball up. 15 metres to the good of the centre for the Bulldogs, kicking to the city end. Up they'll go again. It's Compston who wins the tap. It was a neat left, but Schultz sharked the football. Diving in after it was Peake of the Magpies, and he'll get a free kick for his trouble. Defensive side of the centre. He'll now bring it to the opposite side wing. Good work, Huntley, who took a strong contested mark in front of Humphrey. He'll go over the top now. That's okay. Finds Johnny Watson. Too far out to score. He's got a player breaking from him in Huntley, who ran forward. He 100-metre sprint to offer a target. 50 metres out will take a mark.
He's been outstanding, Huntley, in this game so far. He's had so much to footy, Johnny. I'm thinking they're about to add Epsom to the end of his name. Yeah. He'll have 2 suburbs named after him.
I thought you might have said Salt then for a minute, but this is Cal Huntley, broadcast side, kicking to the... Which street end's that one, Joel? That's the Castlemaine end.
Maple Street end.
Maple Street end. It's a good long high ball. It fades just at the last moment. Big fist in there by Compston, it looks like, to put it through for a minor. Magpies the 3 behinds. Golden Square 1-1-7. 11 minutes, almost 12 into the first, thanks to Bendigo Reno, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Always starts well. Callum Huntley, hard running right from the get-go. Oh, gee, that's a horrible kick from Walters, the debutant.
Yes.
He's turned it over. And is that Horn again who's got the footy?
And he's happy to have a shot too. He put his hand up straight away. Let the forwards know I'm going to have a decent go at this.
Left footer, so be tough from the 45-degree angle out to the left.
Sometimes
to the Maple Street end.
There, Joel.
Well, it just depends whether he's a left to right or a right to lefter, Johnny. We know his game in that in depth. Not quite. No. Here's Horn from 47 metres out. Pops it up. It holds up into the breeze. They fly. Jolie Smith got in there. Couldn't pull down one of his customary hangers, and Golden Square rushed the 3rd rush behind in this game. The kick in from Kieran was a shocker though, so it's 4 behinds to 1. Now it's stolen by Chester, who dribbles it to the goal line. Blake did well to keep it in. Simmons handball to Smith. And after all that, they see it across the boundary line. Geary's in there to do the tackling.
Yeah, short to a contest on a kick out, sometimes not the best plan.
Twice in a row they've turned it over on the kick-out square.
Yeah, doing their best to mark it up, I was going to say, Joel, as the umpire throws it back into the hot spot. Compston is there. Blake won the ruck work. Hansford's there as well. Magpies put a lot of pressure on, but defensively did well as well. She's been okay. They'll now drive it long to the outer side wing. There's no one home except for Robbins and the Magpies. They're away again. Gives it to Zach Danahy. Off half forward. He'll bring it laterally, looking for Hood in the middle. Morecambe offered a contest. Did well. They've got the numbers here. Anderton. He goes to half forward, and a mark is being taken by Rosengren. He turns and goes. He's got Thrum breaking for him. 35 out. He'll turn to go on the left. Around the body. Goal square opening. Bouncing footy. Pops it through. Good end-to-end stuff there for Golden Square. They go to 2-1-13. The Castlemaine Magpies are 4 behinds. They've been peppering the goals. 14 minutes into the first, thanks to Aussie Disposals, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Doesn't that break your heart? The ball's been really, last couple of minutes, probably 3 opportunities for the Magpies to score. They couldn't do so. I think you spoke about him last time. He was a defender, now playing forward.
Yep.
He's a clever forward. Really clever, smart.
Yeah, he's going all right up forward this season.
He is.
Young Jakey Thrum kicks another one and extends the lead for the Dogs. They come out of the middle here as Dennehy got thrown into the ruck. Lowry towards half forward. Much went to ground, couldn't take it. Geary's in there, handball sharked, and they'll be able to run it off half back. Here's Horn, who's been prolific early. Switches the play now to the broadcast side for Watson. Semmons there in support. Good tackle, Tracy. Now Semmons attacks the footy and gets it back to John Watson. Well done, Darby Semmons. Handball to Joel Smith of the Newstead variety. He chips short and finds Horn at the back edge of the square. Centering ball, dangerous. Kieran knocks it away from Graham. 2-on-1 favours the Magpies. Jenkins has to shovel it out. Good tackle from Kieran, locks him up. And just forward of centre for Golden Square, we will have a ball up. Halfway through the opening term, Square are 2-1. The Maggies 4 behinds on Bendigo's Fresh FM, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Jared Graham and Captain Jack did the ruck work there. Won the ball, Jack Geary, banged it on the boot. They move it forward. Baird's there, got his hands on the footy. 50 out from goal. Trey Humphries there, gives it to Travis Baird by hand. Goes long at goal. It fades and just, well, unlucky. Hit the post, in fact, so just hit the bit stick. 2-2-14 Golden Square. 4 behinds are the Magpies. 16 in the first, thanks to Bendigo Reno on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Schultz collects the kick in. Oh, it's a dangerous kick to a 4-on-1. Dalrymple picks it up. He unloads. It's away to the left and it's 1 behind. Gee, they've got to be more clever from the kicking in. Both sides. They've both butchered it from that last line. 2-3 now the Dogs. 4 behinds the Magpies. 16 gone. Opening term.
Schultz plays on from fullback. And the Golden Square are kicking to the scoring end as well. Sharking the ball there was Tracy. Had 2 to pick in the forward zone.
And if they mucked it up, Geary was by himself behind him.
Yeah, poor checking.
Pretty much a pack of bulldogs there, John.
Yeah, and look, I think Castlemaine got caught running back the other way. They were looking to run forward, and Trav Baird was all alone, directly in front. He won't miss this. He's too good of a player. He'll line them up to the city end.
He could.
And that flag is blowing it towards that end on the scoreboard, and he could but doesn't. Pops it through. Very good work, Trav Baird. 3-3-21, the Bulldogs. The Magpies are 4 behind, 17 minutes into the first, thanks to Bendigo Reno, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
John, who's that coming to the bench?
Joey Smith.
He's not even going to go through the interchange, John. He's walked straight off the ground.
I was looking to the interchange bench. Darby Semmons is coming off.
That's very not good for Joel Smith.
Joel Smith is done for the day because he didn't come through the gate.
No, he didn't. He wasn't interested. They went to march him across there, but he just walked out in front of Derek Fowler, the coach, and walked straight over the line.
So keep an eye on and see if he goes up into the rooms. I'd suggest he might have to. May not have a choice. Thrums in there on the tackle from the restart and a ball up.
I'll tell you what he did do years ago. He broke a leg very badly, and he's pointing to his left leg.
He
there.
knows there's something seriously wrong.
3-3 to 4 behind. Square in front and just taking the ascendancy in the last 7 minutes. First goal took 10 minutes in this ball game. Graham to Hood, back edge of the square. Dangerous kick. It was low, it was flat. It didn't give Schultz much of a chance. Doing well though was Noonan, who I think played in the reserves game a little bit earlier today, Johnny. So backing up and doing nicely might be required a little bit more than they had thought originally. Huntley at the back edge of the centre square now. Spreads it out wide for Robinson, who runs into Morecambe, and that's never good. You don't want to run into Hamish Morecambe. Holding the ball, and Morecambe takes off with the footy. Gets it inside and finds Thrum, who's got it right at the edge of the cricket pitch. Goes long to fall forward. Baird works his way into it and takes the mark. Terrific play, Golden Square.
Well, there's a song by Kenny Rogers. You've got to know when to hold him, when to fold him, John.
Yeah.
Cross half back. When you take a good mark, just settle. He had a man right on the mark there, and he tried to crash his way through.
So Baird will come in, top of the goal square, kick his second. Just about kick it down to Woolworths. Into the front yard of a house across the road. 4-3-27 Golden Square. Travis Baird's got 2. The Magpies are 4 behinds. 19 gone first term thanks to Aussie Disposals. And after a promising start, Wallace, they're just slipping away here a bit, Castlemaine.
Down to Woolworths, I think a red spot special tonight.
Yeah, perhaps.
Football. Yeah, look, you're right, Joel. There's been some stages of this first term that Castlemaine have done well, but now they really need to win this centre clearance and also kick a goal, if not followed by back-to-back goals, just to get that belief, because Square are just building their confidence, and their forwards now are marking clearly as well.
And Joel Smith from Harcourt originally is off the ground. He won't take any further part in this game. Looking at his left leg, I reckon it might have been his left leg that he broke a couple of seasons ago, so he knew he was in trouble.
And I've already called him and he's going to take 7 hangers, so how am I travelling?
Yeah, well, he won't today.
We can only wish him the best.
Yes.
As the ball moves to the outer side of the ground for the Bulldogs through Welsh. In fact, it goes to half back. Anderson is there. He got
tackle.
met very heavily by a magpie over
Tommy Horn,
there.
I think.
Horn, and geez, he's
come a bit sore.
Holding his shoulder as well, so he doesn't look good. Keep your eye on Tommy Horn. I reckon he's done his collarbone.
I reckon it's the casualty ward here at Golden Square.
Yeah,
where are they building that new hospital again? Is it nearby?
It's want to be, but
yeah, Horn's coming off too.
Horn, he looks in some serious pain. So Tommy Horn, who's probably been their second best player this afternoon, as the ball's on the outer side of the ground, is going to be thrown in. So the Magpies are 2 down at the moment.
Knew it straight away too, didn't he?
He did. Nobody went up into the ruck as the ball comes into the middle of the ground. Humphrey goes over the top. In fact, it was his look-alike. They both look alike there, Tracy and Humphrey. They're working the ball nicely together. Broadcast side now. Shark well by Morecambe. He'll turn and drive it long inside forward 50, and Trav Baird all alone again. Too much room, Wallace, and he's taken a mark 38 and he's going to line them up again.
He was standing there for some moments, John, and when the ball came in, there was no pressure applied to him whatsoever. One of the easiest marks he'll ever take at senior level.
He's kicked 2 already for this afternoon. This one is a given if the others are to go by, but it's not on this occasion. He just fades that ball. He's due to have a bad kick. Minor score, Golden Square are now 4-4-28. The Magpies are 4 behinds, 21 in the last, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Gee, you wanted to be over that much, Johnny. 21 gone in the last.
First. Did I say last?
Very optimistic as Callan Huntley shoved over the line and throw in at half forward for Golden Square.
Not happy on the bench.
Yeah, it just looks like he's pointing to the point of the shoulder. As opposed to, so look, he's sort of
not doing any work on it at all.
Yeah, it might have just been a stinger, perhaps. So he looks like he's not maybe as bad as first thought, just on the point of that left shoulder for Tommy Horn. So we hope that he certainly can come back on. But visiting sides haven't had a good time of it in recent weeks here at Golden Square. As Schultz sits under the football inside defensive 50 for the Magpies and takes the mark, chips it short and finds Robinson. So still inside the back half here, Castlemaine, and Golden Square have kicked the last 4 goals unanswered in this game. Here's Joel Smith of the Newstead variety, stares it wide. Simmons and Kieran, under 18 interleague teammates for Bendigo, chase after the football. Neither of them can get there, and just forward of the centre wing on the outer side for Golden Square to be thrown in.
Just shows you there's not much of Clayton Anderson, but he's a tough little customer when you go and tackle him.
24-point margin. We'll keep your eye on Horn there. You probably
I reckon he'll be back.
Joel Smith, just Joel Smith from now, because he's the only one left out there. So if we call Joel Smith, it's now Newstead, as Thrum's kick is smothered off the boot. On half forward, going in hard there was Mitch Tracy, who's had a lot of the ball. Magpies end up with it, however. Reece Jenkins receives the football, now goes long down the wing. It was a 2-on-1 contest. He made his Orsborough work for it. Won it. Watson did well to peak by hand. That was too severe for Osborough. Couldn't win it. Good work, Bulldogs. Welsh is out there. They're sharing it around. Now, player is Tracy. His kick is smothered. Gets it back by hand. Dishes it out to a teammate in Keating, who kicks it long and goes out of bounds on the full.
Now, I'm not sure.
No, the ball's going over the bowling club.
Yeah, it went a long way. As he kicked it, he put his hands to his head like, what am I doing?
Yep.
Not sure if Tom Horn likes the trainers or not, but he won't let them work on it. He's just doing it himself. He's just doing some circular work with the shoulder.
Good training staff down there at Castlemaine.
Now the trainer's finally. It's the first time he's had opportunity to do some work on his shoulder. I think he'll be back. Yep. John?
And Wayne Schultz is over on the bowling green, skippering his own rink.
Is he allowed to use the boots on the rink?
I'm not sure. I think they might have a little bit of a variable surface next year. So if you're playing pennant bowls at Golden Square, I'd look out, because that could be, he's just aerating the turf for them maybe.
Yeah, it's probably the right time of year to do that.
Tonk will go next year then.
Go and fetch your footy, son.
I'd just be going for the drive every time. 23 and a half gone in this first term.
He's over the fence and he's back into it.
And the time on clock thanks to Tindercar. Schultz gets us back underway with a short handball to Jenkin, then back to Schultz, who gets on the left boot, kicks it down the line, really to no one. Kieran and Walters both let their teammate run into the space there and go. He
just
comes
a
across the
nothing
boundary
kick,
line.
Joel, because it's hard for forwards to try and mark that. It gives too much time for the defenders to come across.
So 4-4 Golden Square, 4 behind the Magpies as we close in on quarter time on a beautiful winter's afternoon here at Wade Street in round 9 of Bendigo football. Robbins goes in, he's dispossessed, comes out for the Dogs again. High right football inside the forward 50 from Thrum, couldn't be marked by a teammate, and Hood is there again. Been good for the Magpies early, Johnny.
Good body work.
Yeah, he kicks it beyond 50 and he just kicks it to an opposition player in the Bulldogs in Welsh who's had a bit of it.
High tackle.
And might have got one too high.
Seen a few of them so far. Their tackling in terms of their technique hasn't been great early. They probably need to just cut down on these free kicks, Castlemaine.
Welsh, a short pass to a leading Geary. 50 out, a short one into the gap. Poor check in Castlemaine. A leading Rosengren accepts it nicely on the chest and he'll line them up 40 from goal directly in front.
Yes, you're right, John. All pretty easy stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Rosengren with a footy. It's got the wind behind his tail. Castlemaine were competitive in the first 5 minutes or so and then just have fallen away. Their defensive work has been some poor checking. Rosengren, let's have a look what he does with his footy. He gets underneath it. They like it at the goal line. Umpire gives us the 2 fingers and pops it through. 5-4-34 Golden Square. 4 behinds the Magpies. The shadows of not the last term, Joel, but the first term.
Yep.
Thanks to the time on clock, thanks to Tindercar as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. And it looks like Tommy Horner's back there. You're right, Joe.
He's coming back on right now. Yeah, the ball at the moment's just been played at one end of the ground. Just as we get to quarter time, it's vital for Castlemaine to kick a goal. Maybe get one back to back.
Fresh live update. Eagle Hawk by 26 points over Maryborough. And it is an early lead to Sandhurst by 7 over Gisborne around the grounds in round 9 of Bendigo footy. Dogs out of the middle once more. Lowry tumbles at the half forward, trapped really well by Thrum. Back to Adam Baird inside the forward 50. Stevens with the flight, can't take it. Tracy went for a bit of a hack off the deck. He didn't collect either. In fact, it was Humphrey and then Rosengren and Geary were both in on the tackle for the Dogs, but the ball's locked up inside forward 50. Not much Dave Stevens could do about that. 35 metres out from goal. John Norton will ball it up. This time it's Osbro and Compston. Compston thumps it towards goal. Quick kick there from Jenkins. High ball, square with numbers. Rosengren goes up, spoiled it away from Welsh, who collected it at the fall. He was well tackled there by Robbins. Thrown into the deck, and now 35 out on the exact opposite angle. Slide angle to the right of centre. Another ball up.
Up they go in the ruck. 40 out from goal. Osbro won it, but sharking the footy there was Welsh of the Bulldogs. He'll bring it inside to the hot spot. Bouncing footy over the back. Lurking there was Jack Geary. And they see it over the boundary line, 20 out from goal. Glad I'm not the only one that's struggling with those dreadlocks there, Joel. There's 3 of them out there, isn't there? Of course, Humphrey, he's him and who else we got there? Tracy. And even Captain Jack can be... he's got that dreadlocks going as well. 25 out from goal. Contest forms. Another whistle on play. We'll have another ball up.
Richard Jones is at Dower Park for us this afternoon, Johnny. 3 goals to the Bloods. They lead 3-1-19 to flat 1-2-8 early stages in the first term.
Ball was thrown up again, and another contest forms, Joel. So it's 34 playing 4 here. It's Golden Square. It's 27.5 in the first, thanks to Tindercar on the time on clock.
The Ruckman share the honours inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Lowry comes away with it. Handball back to Much, who tried to get a boot to it. Now did around the corner. Lovely kick. Oh, and Morecambe's just bustled his own teammate out of the way there in Humphrey. I think Humphrey thought he was a chance for a little while there to get that footy.
Designated kick, I reckon, going to him.
And Big Hammer's just got up and jumped in front of him.
Well,
and Morecambe...
Like a good forward, Joel. You need to be hungry.
Yep. And what do you do after you take the mark? You accept the responsibility.
You do.
It's a bit of a throwback, that one. Here's Morecambe from 30 metres out, 45-degree angle, left of centre, puts it on the way finds the major opening. No worries about that for Hamish Morecambe. Golden Square have their 6th. They are 6-4-40. Castlemaine 4 behinds, 28.5 gone in the opening term, thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets. The thoughts of Wallace Teasdale.
Yeah, just to getting the ball through the centre clearances, and that's putting pressure on the Castlemaine defence. The ball's been coming in regularly. There's not a lot of pressure at times, John, in that defensive zone for Castlemaine, and some of the Golden Square players taking full advantage of that.
Need to do a lot better as the ball is back into the middle. Constant Osborough for Castlemaine, the Magpies. Compston wins the tap. Just put it into the path of a teammate, Kieran, who puts it in the
Rob.
who went around the body. That won't count, I don't think, Joel.
No.
It will not count. So you're right there, Wallace. Castlemaine started off pretty well, but it was just all golden square, and they looked ominous in that first turn. So it's golden square, 6-4-40. They are leading this game. Castlemaine are 4 behind, a 36-point margin, as we are doing it for our community. Live local footy on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Bendigo's best.
Paul Hutchinson holds the ball aloft. Second quarter about to get underway. The Magpies started well in the first. They'll want to do the same here in the second and hopefully put a bit more score on the board. The skipper for Golden Square, Jack Geary, takes it away from the restart. High kick only as far as Horn, who had an injury concern to deal with. Gee, much must have heard a voice there from Jared Graham. It was a very nice handball straight to him. Only problem was it was his opposition number. Walters did well at halfback from the Dogs, brought the long kick to ground and knocked it away from Chester. He was then tackled by Simmons and a ball up across half forward for the
centre
Magpies.
clearance is important for the Magpies in this turn. They've got it at half forward, an opportunity to score early in the second quarter.
Blake and Compston up in the ruck, knocked inside forward 50 for the Castlemaine side. Graham goes through. Tried to handball out of traffic, didn't get rid of it, had an opportunity to, said John Norton, and Zane Kieran was in there on the tackle. He gets the free kick and hands off to Geary inside defensive 50.
Oh, it's an awkward looking kick. They'll have the numbers here, Golden Square, through much. He'll pick up the football, he'll go to the back door by hand, okay, to Geary. Geary will now go to Anderson, off half back. He'll kick it down the Maroney wing to a contest, and Adam Robinson intercepts for the Magpies. Outer side wing, the Maroney wing. Kicking to the city end, which has the breeze. Looks for Hansford. Awkward kick. Horn is there by hand. Coughs it up though. Compston dishes it off to Captain Jack Geary, who loses the football. His intended target was Welsh. Smack bang in the middle of Wade Street here now. Schultz is in there for the Magpies, but away comes Morecambe for the Bulldogs. The old 1-2 ends up with Geary. Jack Geary kicks it into a forward pocket. A leading player there has taken a mark for Golden Square, and that is Adam Baird, and he'll line them up and we'll get a pretty good look at this footy.
So I'm thinking Jack Geary headed up for playing full forward, started this term in the midfield.
Something they've done a lot more of is rotating that mid to forward and trying to get that isolation with them, and done it pretty effectively with Geary and Baird, the Dogs this season.
Adam Baird with the footy. He'll skip, hop and jump. We'll get a good look at it, and it's horrible off the boot. Lucky to sneak in. Well, it didn't sneak in at all.
Would have been very lucky then.
No score. So it remains a 36-point margin, 6-4-40 square. The Maggies are 4 behinds as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Schultz with the kick-in duties. Just thumps it long up the line to a pack where Blake sits under it. Dalrymple knocks it back towards the forward 50 for the Dogs. Walters did well. Busted open the pack. Handball to Toma, who was taken high by Graham. That's probably the 4th or 5th time that's happened now for the Magpies where they've laid a high tackle. Toma lays it off inside the forward 50, and he's found Welsh. And the former Loddon Valley Footy League under-17 best and fairest, Braden Welsh, has got the footy just over the boundary line to the right of centre, about 45 metres out. He'll have to kick from to the Maple Street end. Yeah, very nice shot for Steve Dilks, the league photographer, who's just down there on the sideline, very close to him. Here is Welsh. From 47 metres out, strikes it very, very thin, always away to the right and out of bounds on the fall. So a couple of sprayed ones for the Dogs to start the second term. I've done your trick, Johnny, and gone very early. 3 minutes into the second. 6-goal margin to Golden Square here at Wade Street on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Schultz goes short to Jenkins by foot. In the back half still, he'll go short again to Hansford. So Hansford takes a mark and he'll look to bring it down the broadcast side. He does a short, cute little kick, which is okay, to Darby Simmons. He's off hard up against the boundary line, left half back. He's looking to go back in the corridor.
Yeah, this is the kick, Johnny. This is the out kick.
Ends up dumping it long. Horn, front position. Couldn't get that mark. One too high for Blake. who copped it, and he goes by hand to the back door to Hansford. Into the corridor now, which is an extremely poor kick to Much. Much's kick was smothered by Schultz. Good pressure, Schultz. Much somehow banged it on the boot. Went to Horn of Castlemaine. Just going to go back the other way now with the Magpies. Here we go. Off half forward. Graham, running. Joel Smith did well. Into the forward zone. Decides to steady 40 out from goal. And he'll come back and have a shot.
This is Joel Smith of no fixed address, Johnny.
Yeah,
we don't have to put the qualifier on him anymore.
Has he got the leg, Johnny?
Well, I reckon he does, because he's got a breeze up his ginger there, Wallace.
And his name's Joel, so he's probably a good kick of the footy.
Yeah, Joel Smith.
Not sure.
Let's have a look what he does with this footy. It's got the wind. Doesn't do very well at all. It's not even going to make the distance. It's into the hot spot.
Right.
They fly. Compston for the Bulldogs. Bangs it on the boot. Beyond 50. Magpies with a chance. If they can pick it up, they do. Stevens receives the football. He'll go to Blake. Off half forward. Around the body. Again into the hot spot. Compston did well defensively. Big fist. Good work, Bulldogs. They're going to move it nicely, and Kieran will relieve the pressure across deep half back.
Yeah, lovely kick from Kieran. Oh, it might have been just had a little bit too much carry on it. It did. Welsh didn't trap it inside the boundary line, and it was a good metre over. Boundary umpire right there. Hansford's got it over the boundary line in the left forward pocket. He's sort of tracking his line back all the way to the fence, and he starts at about 50.
Have a shot there, I reckon. He's got the wind.
Yeah.
They need something.
Not a really hard pocket to kick them from. Just have to hang it out to the right a little bit. Let it work back. Zach Hansford, that is exactly what he's done. That's a terrific finish. Well done to the Magpies skipper. He gets there first at the 5.5 minute mark of the second term. 1-4-10 Castlemaine, 6-4-40 Golden Square. Thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM, we take you inside local sport.
Well, it's taken us a quarter and a bit, Johnny, but for Castlemaine to get on the scoreboard regarding goals, but it was a quality goal. That's nice work by the skipper.
Yeah, and Joel, how's the call?
Just a beautiful kick.
Hang it out wide.
I was kicking the footy here the other day on Monday, Johnny. I had the day off and I came and kicked the footy here, and I kicked one exactly like that, except I was still in the goal square.
You use one of those 3/4 sizes they do at Auskick, don't you? Now, Compston won the ruck work.
It's too big for me.
Shark by Braden Blake, who bangs it long inside forward 50. Good work, Karen, calmly. Deep in the defensive zone, Walters. He was a little bit nervous there. The first game hard up against the line.
Important though, second clearance out of the centre for the Magpies this term. Yep. And what you see from that, John, it puts the defence of Golden Square immediately under pressure.
They started well too, Wallace, in the first term, and they have in the second. Let's see what happens about 6 or 7 minutes in. They'll go up in the ruck here. Constant, a double fisted to Geary. Geary now weaves his way and then kicks it long to the wing. His intended target was Rosengreen. Couldn't get it. Shark by the Magpies. Here's Jenkins. He'll now drive it long inside forward 50. Salmon's front position. Couldn't get it. Front and centre was Dalrymple of Golden Square. Now 48 metres out. Anderson's there. Kept his feet at the bottom there. It's all trapped in. Horn seems to have recovered from that shoulder injury and will have a throw up. 40 playing 10, a 30-point margin. It's Golden Square, 48 from goal, directly in front.
Up they go. Compson wins it down. Toma, quick kick into the centre of the ground. Well, it's sit for Robinson at will. He was accosted by Tracy, who goes through the centre of the ground. Oh, busting away was Lowry to Baird. 80 metres out. Goes inside the forward 50, looking for his brother in space. Stevens will get back there. Chop it off. Handball under pressure, and Noonan has to be clean. Wasn't taken. He was taken too early, though. Held without the football by Rosengren. John Norton pays the free kick, and it'll come back to Mark Noonan, who was under all sorts of pressure right on the last line of defence for the Magpies. He's nowhere to go, so he's going to have to come up the middle of the ground. It's a really good kick. He found Watson beautifully, runs through the centre circle, goes inside the forward 50. Huntley the target, out-bustled. Well done there. Oh, the Magpies have got numbers, though. Running onto the footy is Chester. Can he collect it? He can't. He fumbles. He slides in. He goes back in. He's held without it. And Jack Chester will get a free kick. 15 out, left forward pocket, 45-degree angle.
Yeah, he did fumble the ball. You're right in the call, and he was lucky to get the free kick. But the best thing about that was their work from defence and the way they took the game on. Castlemaine didn't want to stop.
So Chester should kick this from 15 out. Not much of an angle to speak of, just lazily pops it through. And Castlemaine get 2 in a row to what has been the scoring end in this ball game so far. They are now 2-4-16. Golden Square have not scored in this second term. They're 6-4-40, so it's 4 kicks the margin, 9 gone in this second quarter, thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM. The thoughts of Wallace Teasdale.
It just shows you if you're quick enough, Johnny, and want to move the ball quickly like they did then, they really can catch the opposition defence off guard, and that was just great work. Straight down the corridor, non-stop football, goal.
A good bit of play I've seen Castlemaine since the start of the season, I suppose, as the ball is now with Blake. He'll handball, looks there for Danahy. He should have taken that ball, didn't, fumbled it, sock it off the ground by Noonan, who's had a couple of possessions. In the back zone is Anderson. On the left, he squeezes it, and it's over the line, or it's a mark to much. No, a mark's been paid to much. So, defensively, much.
Another centre clearance to Castlemaine in this second term.
They've done well, haven't they? Just the start of this second term. Let's see how they go for the rest of it. Into the middle of the ground, bouncing footy, whistle on play, and the Magpies, they're getting a good rub of the green here, probably because they're working pretty hard. Jenkins with the footy, free kick. Now he'll go long, hard leading. Huntley takes a mark on the chest, 40 out, and he'll line them up, and he has got the leg, Wallace.
Look, that kick, yeah, you're right, but that kick by Jenkins, that's a magnificent kick from, he stood in the middle of the ground to pass it so that Huntley could actually not break stride and run onto it and then have to dive at the last minute to take the mark. Forwards like that kind of work, delivery work from the centre.
I like Huntley up forward. He'll cross the paint mark of 50 to long, high ball, it's a goal! Cal Huntley, wow, they've got, 3 on the trot here. That goes to 3-4-22. Golden Square is 6-4-40, almost 11 in the second, thanks to Bendigo Renault, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Noting the Classics as a triple play, Johnny, and start the second term. All resulted by really good sense of break. They're winning the clearances at the moment. They've won 3 in this term, and then some smart footy too. Jenkins, beautiful kick off the boot after getting a high, I think a slap across the face, to be honest, in that tackle. Umpire did see it, and then it was a beautiful pass up forward. Good work, Castlemaine.
Let's see what they can do here. In the middle, can they add another one and bring it back to a 2-goal margin? They'll have the football. Horn comes busting his way through in the centre square, kicks it long inside the 50. Huntley runs to the space in the pocket. Cruel bounce, but then tackled well. Gee, Lee was lucky to get away with that. Comes back now to Kieran. Tracy's kick smothered in the hands of Simmons. 40 out, pops it into the space. Joel Smith runs onto the right forward pocket. Bounce was an absolute shocker for him. Chester goes in. Anderson goes in. He sees it across the boundary line, but it's pretty manic stuff in defence for the Dogs at the moment.
Good work. Tom Horn was the player that smothered that footy, and it makes a big difference when you're at half forward.
45 out in the right forward pocket. The ball will be thrown in. Castlemaine deep into attack, having kicked the last 3 of the game. And is that a free kick or a recalled boundary throw-in?
Other way.
No, it's going to square from the ruck contest, so it'll go to Matty Compston.
So Compston will dish it off to a teammate. Defensive zone to Coe. Coe still in his defensive arc. He's got Humphrey for him. Receives the ball. He's got a Paddock. Now he'll drive it long to the wing. Up they fly. Good punch, Jared Graham from behind for the Magpies. Watson is there. Also for Golden Square as Welsh. They all dive on the football. The umpire crosses his arm, blows his whistle.
It was good defensive work by Graham because he was outnumbered, came in and really applied a great spoil.
Bulldogs by 18 points. The Magpies have kicked the first 3 of this second term. Constant does the ruck work. He was unopposed. Coe picks up the football. A short little kick to half forward, and he finds a leading Rosengren.
So Rosengren gets back on the right boot, goes inside the forward 50. Thrum slipped over at the critical moment. Robinson can set off a little bit of bounce off half back for the Magpies. Kick was smothered. Came to Watson. Couldn't collect. Out to the wing now. Hansford picks it up. Handball's in the direction of Horn, who's got a little bit of space at half forward. Left foot kick inside the 50 is absolutely wonderful. And it finds Huntley on the lead. 40 out, 45-degree angle to the left.
Once again set up by Robertson and half back, who wanted to play and move the ball very quickly to get it into this position.
It's an outstanding kick from Horn. A low, bullet-like ball, and Huntley ran onto it and he'll kick from 45 metres out on the right boot. It's wobbly, but it bends the right way for the Magpies, and suddenly it is a 2-goal game here at Wade Street. 4-4-28 Castlemaine, Golden Square 6-4-40, 14 gone in the second term thanks to Bendigo Renault, and this is quite the purple patch for the black and white.
Well, this one's known as the Fabulous Four, John. We've had a triple play, double back-to-back, and now the Fabulous Four. So they are playing some good footy. The thing that's kept them in the game in this term is their centre clearance work, very good, but across half back, watch them. They're prepared to take it on and move the ball quickly.
Using the breeze really well too, as Blake wins the tap to Horn again. Horn's best on ground in this second term. Long bouncing footy towards the point post and goes out of bounds. So
you're up and about now, Johnny.
Well, we've got to be up and about if we get a good game, don't we, Wallace?
I thought you were dejected early in the first term, but now look at you.
Yeah, you watch me up and about. If they kick another one here, that's be a good effort for the Magpies. They're deep in their forward zone. 30 out, contest ground level. Huntley does it, don't argue. He's out, can't get clear, dishes off a handball. A free kick was paid, in fact. Umpire paid the advantage. A long kick there to Rosengren. Couldn't mark it. Jared Graham did well. There's just a sea of Bulldogs players. Hard running. Keating takes a chest mark. In fact, he dropped it. It bounced. Should have taken it. And it bounced over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in.
Good spoiler, Graham, isn't he? Jared Graham. When he's behind, clearly comes across and really works hard on the ball. Thumps it away from the contest as well.
Halfway through this second term, it's been all Castlemaine. Golden Square have not scored. The Magpies have kicked 4 goals straight. Throw in across half forward for the Dogs. They've got a chance here to find the answer. Of course, they missed a couple of opportunities as well early on, with Baird and Welsh both kicking it out of bounds on the fall. So they haven't been without a chance, but just haven't made the most of those that they've had. Blake goes up, wins it down for the Magpies, through the hands of Adam Baird. Noonan's in there. Blake again. Did well to shovel the football out. Try to get it in the Schultz direction. Jenkins was there. He was tackled, and a ball up across half forward still for Golden Square. Between the wing and half forward on the outer side. 16 gone in this second term. Round 9 in Bendigo footy. 2-goal lead to the Dogs. Ball over the boundary line again. And another boundary thrown on the outer side. Quarter time score from down the road at Dower Park. It was South Bendigo 5-2-32 to Kangaroo Flat 1-2-8. Thanks to Richard Jones for that. All single goal kickers in that game. The Roos trailing by 24 points at the break.
Outer side, 40 playing 28.
And Newbridge over Midiamo by 15 points thanks to Wayne Smith as well in the LVFL.
Keating doing the ruck work for the Bulldogs. It's sharked by the Magpies through Peak though. Gives it to Schultz. Schultz to Jenkins off half-back. Who's had a lot of the ball is Reece Jenkins. Now he goes long to half-forward. He'll be looking for the young man that's wearing those green boots in Zach Danahy. There's a couple of them out there. Still on half-forward. Good work here, Bulldogs. Anderson needs to be quickened, gives it to Zarin. How do you pronounce that? Kieran. I kept saying Zarin. Now they go. Peak again, takes a sliding chest mark by hand, gives it to Simmons, back to Peak, to Horn, 49 out, you've got to be quick. He gets his hand to the footy, spills. Now they're going to come, and it is good work here through Dale Lowry.
Well, Dale Lowry's kick was a grubber though, straight back to Schultz, who bombs away inside the forward 50. Dalrymple ran past it, top of the goal square, comes off the knee of Huntley, firing it on top of the football though for the Magpies, trying to work it out. They had their numbers there. They just couldn't come away with the footy, and will have a ball up inside forward 50. So they work hard here still, Castlemaine. It was Hansford last man up, 30 metres out from the Magpies goal. Paul Hutchison balls it up, clears out of the way. Keating up in the ruck. Humphrey came away with it, tackled as he kicked. Morecambe crashes in. He tried to come away with the footy. Keating goes back in, went to ground.
Millum.
And yeah, I think it was I think Paul Hutchison might have lost the whistle there.
He did. He's having some sort of problem with the whistle in the hand.
The mechanism in the whistle not working. Doesn't help when you're an umpire.
P's not working.
Here's Walters down the line. Good kick. And Rosengren marks right in front of our broadcast position.
Receiving a handball there was Jakey Thrum. He bounces. He ran a long way, then kicks it. Oh, he's got Travis Baird all by himself.
How's that for well-weighted kick?
Sewed the needle. Beautiful, wasn't he? Took a mark 35 to 40 out, 45 degree angle. So Good work there by Baird.
One thing we haven't
pass.
seen too much in this second term, Johnny, they haven't got opened up in that transition situation too much, the Magpies.
No, I think they're working with a pretty tough breeze here, the Dogs, and that ball goes straight across the face, off hands, and it in fact is hit the post. That's is that just a throw in? It is there, Joel. So no score at all. 40 playing 28, 12-point margin. It is Golden Square doing all the attacking.
Closing in on time on in this second term thanks to Tindakar, and they'd want to do something here, Golden Square. As Jack Kennedy said, just do something. Baird wins it down. That's Travis Baird working through the traffic. Joel Smith, handball to Schultz on the last line. Elects not to rush it. Sends it out wide towards Blake. Good work.
Yeah, that's strong work. He had a couple of opponents coming at him. Used his body, used his hands to make a good position there.
Too big, too strong, too smart for Reece Much. Blake's kick, though, isn't great. Coe should get a free kick for that. He did. Dennehy Baird down on him on the outer wing. John O'Coe takes it.
Joel Smith is still at the ground, so it can't be a broken leg. He's got his right knee heavily packed in ice. Johnny?
Hopefully some more positive signs for Jolie Smith.
Still got his footy gear on. He's walking around the ground, but he can't participate in this game.
Joel Smith of the Harcourt variety, for those who are wondering. The injured one. Good battle here between Chester and Walters. Walters tumbles it toward the boundary line, then dropped it in the tackle. Nothing for it. Anderton goes in. Might have been pushed in the back by Stevens. Umpire again elects not to blow the whistle. Now Lowry, a high up and under wall toward the boundary line. Gee, big fly from Morecambe. Came way over the top of the pack. Couldn't reel it in. It goes out of bounds.
Jeremy Howe style there, Joel.
That's what he's capable of. That is absolutely what he's capable of, and he likes to do it on this side of the ground too, young Hamish. Just making sure that everyone in the club rooms can see him.
That's what you got to do. That's good.
Golden Square haven't scored in this second term. It'll be a long time since they haven't scored in a term of football if they manage not to put one on the board, as we've got another whistle on play. Young Tommy Walters seems a bit nervous when he gets the footy as well, doesn't he? He's had a couple of fumbles at the wrong time, as we're still working hard with the footy on the true centre wing position in front of us broadcast side, and we'll have another ball up. 6-4-40 Golden Square. The Magpies have kicked 4 goals in this term. 4-4-28. Umpire throws it up. Blake wins the ruck. Hansford is there, smothered off the boot, was touched. Simmons didn't grab the football anyway. He tracked it, then dived on it. Spools clear. Lowry is in there for the Bulldogs, but Johnny Watson, he just breaks clear with it, bangs it on the boot. Inside forward 50, they're on here. Chester, and he's got Dennehy if he wants him. He's got Smith if he wants him as well. Decides to do it himself. Good pass. Leading player in Huntley. Oh, he's going to play on. The Dogs have caught napping, and the Magpies have kicked their 5th. Wow. They go to 5-4-34. It's only back to a goal margin. 6-4-40 Golden Square. 21 and a half minutes in the second. The time on clock. Thanks to Tindakar as we take you inside local sport. I just got up and about against them. Wallace Teasdale, Bendigo's effort, Fresh FM.
Yeah, we have to call that a high five, Johnny, because that's 5 goals unanswered in this second term. Who would have thought that after quarter time?
Oh, I did.
Looking at the coach too, Derek in the first term was pretty quiet. He's up and about, he's patting players on the back, he's singing out. He's really involved with the game now.
Back to a goal, the margin, and as Johnny said, Square still haven't scored in this term. 22 minutes gone in the quarter. Now Geary's caught holding the ball, and you know when Jack Geary's getting caught, it's really not going your way.
Could they be in front at half time, Joel?
Here's Horn, who gets on the left boot inside the forward 50. Huntley runs to the space in the left forward pocket again. Traps it, gets back in board. Good kick. It'll be marked. And it will be marked by Watson, who centres it up. Nice ball to centre half forward. Robbins did well. Had Lowry coming over the top of him. Ducked into the tackle. And we'll have a ball up at centre half forward. Castlemaine still into attack and still pressing hard. 23 gone in this second term. On the time on clock, thanks to Tindakar. And it is the Dogs who lead it by only the 1 straight kick.
They've got it on half forward here. A rolling pack. 49 out from goal and another ball up.
I like the way they've set up the forward line too. Just nice and open, one-on-one, allowing Huntley the space to get back in.
Looked dangerous, Huntley, hasn't he, with Tommy Horn just drilling the ball. Blake's been good as well. Just manages to put it over the top by hand. Into space. Grab with the footy there is Humphrey. In fact, there's no space there at all, let's be honest, and they all dived on the football, and we'll have another throw up.
Good defensive work from Welsh, who's just sitting in that kick, so Huntley doesn't have that space to run into now.
Watch Simmons here. Blake couldn't get it to him. He had Danahy there as well, ground level. And again, the umpire will have to throw it up. 40 out, directly in front. Golden Square 6-4-40. The Magpies are 5-4-34. They're pushing for their 6th of this second term at Wade Street.
So Paul Hutchinson will ball it up. Blake goes up in the ruck, wins it down. Dalrymple did well, worked his man off the football, exits the defensive 50 with a high ball that pitches in front of Timmins, can't corral it. Jack Geary did well, then was held without it. Will he get a free? He won't. Brought to the ground as he handballed and a ball in.
Yeah, Blake's had a really good second term too. In the second half of this term, his ruck work has been really good.
So right in front of us,
finding teammates.
Just defensive side of the grandstand wing for Golden Square. It's thumped forward by Keating. It's over the line again, despite Geary's best efforts. And we'll have another boundary throw in, still on the clubroom's wing. 24 and a half gone, second term. Magpies have kicked 5 unanswered in this quarter. Golden Square have not scored.
Horn's come off with some sort of leg problem. It doesn't look too serious, but he's shaking his head.
Free kick off the ball to Morecambe.
He wanted to stay out there. He's playing some good footy.
Blake had won that ruck contest there as well. So here's a free kick to Morecambe. He'll drive it long inside forward 50. Compston's down there. Robinson got a fist. Johnny Watson held without the football. Umpire didn't agree. Compston a little bit of a toe poke. Golden Square here. Jack Geary, little over the top tap. That was good to Morecambe. Back into the hot spot now. Grab without the footy also with Tracy, and that's probably fair enough, I reckon. He didn't have the footy, and he'll have a free kick, 48 out from goal. Well, it'll be interesting to see if he makes the distance here, Wallace, because that end, it looks like there's a pretty strong breeze coming from it.
Yeah, it's he'll kick from right on the paint, so he'll kick from 50.
Mitch Tracy.
He's looking around. He's not sure.
Probably doesn't think he can make the distance. Oh, he won't. It's a low ball. Compston got hands on the footy. Wasn't paid. Only 10 metres out from goal. Magpies under pressure. Watson flicks it out towards the line, and they put their first score of the quarter on the board. Golden Square 6-5-41. The Magpies 5-4-34. 26 minutes into the second, thanks to Tindercar on the time on clock. Bendigo's Fresh FM.
I'd like to know the last time Golden Square didn't score in a quarter, Johnny. And it was in the preliminary final of last season. In the third quarter, they didn't score. So far this year, they've gone goalless 4 times. So looking for their first of this second term here, and they still haven't got it as yet, but they have got a score on the board, the Dogs. Well done at half-back, the Magpies. A little bit more positive in their ball movement from this part of the ground now, and John Watson's lost a shoe as well, so he's without a right foot. Up towards half-forward. Coe goes in now for the Dogs in defence. Handball back to Geary. So again under pressure. Now they find out wide Tracy. In fact, it's Humphrey who goes inboard to Toma. Toma goes wide for Keating. Kick for Anderton wasn't great. Geary picked it up. Little handball around the corner towards Morecambe, was knocked away, but Morecambe stayed with the play. Did well to Toma. Sliding in there was Robinson at centre half back for the Magpies. Picked up by Lowry for the Dogs. Inside the forward 50, Rosengren. First grab, second grab, no. It's roved by Welsh, who snaps and goals, no. Just missed to the near side. And another behind for Golden Square. 6-6 they are, the Dogs. Castlemaine 5-4. They've only scored 2 points. The Magpies haven't had a blemish in this second term, thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Jackson Hood, it was a copter ball. It's been intercepted by Keating. Keating now drive it inside forward 50. It'll be a free kick to the Magpies. There was that jump at the footy by who looked like Toma. It just was... well, it was ambitious to say the least. Oh, it's a poor kick. Now Toma comes again. He picks up the footy on the left into the goal square. Oh, good mark. It's been taken by Thrum, contested, but it's going to be a pretty tight angle, only metres out from goal. Oh, he'll go around the corner on the left and missed. Poor result again, Bulldogs. We'll go to 6-7-43. The Magpies 5-4-34, still in the shadows of half-time, thanks to Tintercar on Bendigo's Fresh FM. In fact, that umpire was that... No, it's going to come back, is it? It's going to come back, so that score won't count. The umpire calls it back for Thrum to have a shot. I was just wondering why the scoreboard didn't tick over, and then realised he tried to play on around the corner and umpire hasn't allowed it. So we'll reset ourselves. It's with Thrum, deep in the pocket. You look to do it again, around the corner again. That's a better result for the Bulldogs, and they get one right on, well, almost half-time. Golden Square, that'll take them to 7-6-48. Castlemaine 5-4-34. 29 minutes in the second. Thanks to Tindercar on the time on clock as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yeah, it's probably always going to get the second time. I'm not sure whether the umpire played whistled time on or not, John, first up, because he did miss that clearly. Look, they've had opportunities to score deep into this second term as we approach half-time. They've mucked it up so far, but in the last few minutes they've kicked 1-1 in this term.
I'd love another Magpies, but they've just got to make sure that the Dogs don't get another now and can take a little bit of a break into the half-time interval as Geary and Baird are gang tackling Stevens and a ball up.
Yeah, some of their best work has come from the centre clearances though in this term, Castlemaine.
Just forward of centre for Castlemaine. Geary goes in, tackled by Stevens again, and another ball up. So still in the centre square.
Good news for young Watson, he's got his boot back on.
That's very nice work. Must have been a very quick lace tyre and clearly learnt the technique correctly. Here they go, Dennehy for the Magpies. They'll go inside forward 50 again, out wide, Simmons. Oh, great mark! He juggled it 4 or 5 times.
Has he paid
Reeled it in.
Has he paid
I reckon the boundary umpires overruled him from 50 metres away. How on earth could he have seen that?
Probably had enough of it in the first place anyway, even if it did bumble.
So it's called a boundary throw-in instead of a very, very good mark to Darby Simmons. Ball goes up inside the forward 50 for the Magpies. Thrown to the ground with Miller.
It looked like a mark from our position. We are a fair distance from it, but looked like he did control the mark.
And we'll have a ball up now. 40. The siren sounds and their opportunity to score late in the term thwarted by the boundary throw-in as opposed to the mark paid to Darby Simmons. But it was a terrific quarter for Castlemaine. They kicked 5 goals straight. The Dogs added their first and their only goal of this second term at the 27-minute mark. They kicked 1 goal 2 for the quarter at half-time. It is Golden Square 7-6-48. Castlemaine 5-4-34.
Yeah, well, what a eight. Castlemaine are 5-4-34. All the second half action here.
Well, it was a big second term from the Magpies. Let's hope they can go on with it here in the third. Compston and Blake start us off in the middle of the ground. Blake was beaten to it by Compston. Baird ran onto it. Little handball out wide from Welsh to Coe, who tumbles one to half forward, and Rosengren runs onto it. Rosengren to Geary. Carbon copy of the opening term where the Dogs went forward straight away. They didn't capitalise on that opportunity. Travis Baird wheels around and ensures that this history won't repeat. That's a really good finish from Travis Baird. 28 seconds into this second term, Golden Square are on the board. It took them 28 minutes in the second quarter. In the third, less than 1 minute. 8-6-54 the Dogs, 5-4-34 the Magpies. We have played less than a minute in the third quarter thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yeah, it was all of everything you described there. Travis Baird, good work, but no, Johnny. No. He shouldn't have so much time at this level to take his time. He could have eaten a pizza, had a half a can of Coke, and then still kicked the goal. More pressure needs to be applied.
And a hot dog and one of those chicken burgers from McDonald's that you were telling me about. As the ball again is pushed forward through the Bulldogs here on half forward, trying to get a clean possession as Welsh, but it's the Magpies. Robinson dishes it off to Joel Smith, who comes to the wing. He finds Jack Chester, who takes a chest mark. Chester now, he'll turn to go to half forward, looking for Danaher. He needs to get in front. He didn't. Simmons is there, all tied up. In fact, pretty hot footy in there, and young Darby Simmons is going to be pinged for a hold. And getting up from the bottom of the pack. Oh no, he's in fact been rewarded with it. The umpire called it the wrong way. Now it's Darby Simmons, goes inside forward 50, looking for Danahy. 30 out directly in front. Coe gives it to Anderson. Good work, Huntley. Pressure here by the Magpies, but they're calm here through Lowry. Lowry goes to Humphrey. Humphrey to the opposite side of the ground to a teammate now who drives it long. Good kick down the line. He finds Trav Baird. He'll kick it into the hot spot. Rosengren sets himself. Magpies under pressure. Oh, they're only metres from goal here. Golden Square picked up by Tomer on the left, goes around the body. Don't know whether he had a shot at goal or in fact went for a teammate. He's too close to go for a teammate there, surely.
A little bit of Benny Hill music on that 30 seconds would have been
Comedy
perfect.
capers and it goes over the line. We'll have a throw in metres around from goal. 54 playing.
Bad news is for Square, they should have kicked the goal there. Good news for Castlemaine is the throw-in.
So ball will be thrown back into play. Gee, it was weird old stuff. Blake wins it down. Thrum out of the pack. Quick kick to the goal square. Robbins is after it. Paddles it out to his own advantage. Then goes again. Morecambe dives in on top of the football. Rosengren lays a good tackle inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Locked up. 25 out. Ball up left forward pocket. So trying to get this third term away to a quick start. Golden Square. They've already got one. They'd like a second, and they're pressing forward inside the forward 50. Rosengren in the ruck. Thrum got bumped to the ground by Jenkins. Ball comes out. Morecambe tries to thump it forward. Could only go as far as the boundary line, around 2 metres away from that left hand behind posts, and we will have a ball in. 3.5 gone, third term. Dogs by 20 points at Wade Street on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Umpire fires it back in. Jeez, it's a crowded forward line here for the Dogs. Tracy wraps up a Magpie player just directly in front, 30 out from goal, and the umpire will throw it up. So Magpies under pressure here. Rosengren puts up his hand and says, "May I please take this, umpire?" Which don't like that rule at all. Blake jumps early, gets his hand to it. Magpies through Stevens. He fumbled at the wrong time then. Thrum jumps in underneath the football. Umpire again crosses his arms, blows his whistle.
Did his best work to convince the umpire that it was a high tackle in the back, but umpire was very close, and I think he made the correct call.
It's funny how they flip around like a seal in there if they get tied up, trying to let the umpire know they can't get it out. Up they go in the ruck again. Congested football here for the Dogs. They're not going to be able to make the most of this forward zone. Again, we'll have another whistle, another throw up. 8-6-54, playing 5-4-34, and I reckon what?
Do you reckon they make the same noise as a seal?
What would that
around, like that? Is that the seal
You know
noise?
what I mean, though? They try to get their shoulders going, but anyway,
I don't think you wouldn't make the seal noise, I don't think. Tomer up in the ruck, takes it out of the ruck, snaps it on goal. He's got it there. Tommy Tomer, that was a brilliant bit of play. Did his own ruck work, turned around, snapped it back over his head, and kicked a really nice goal for the Bulldogs. 9-6-60, 5-4-34 Castlemaine. It's a 26-point spread at the 5-minute mark of the third term, thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bolt Carpets on Bendigo's Fresh FM, the thoughts of Wallace Teasdale.
I was thinking that Castlemaine was still getting the game on their terms in this term. They were working hard in defence, but that goal now is vital. That they really need to get a centre clearance and get it up towards their forward line. Kick a goal in the third term, the Magpies.
Up they go in the ruck again. Blake's doing the ruck work. Noonan's sharked the footy, then he lost it. Just forward to centre now. At the bottom of the pack, Dale Lowry, as he always is for the Dogs, will just come up with the footy and hand it to the umpire. Scoring end is the Bendigo City end, though. We've seen the majority of the goals kicked from that end. Blake won the tap against Compton. Good work by Horn. He sharked that footy, now bangs it on the boot on the left, looking for Huntley in the forward zone. He's all tied up, and umpire will again...
You've called that a few times today. Horn taking the ball forward and finding Huntley.
Yeah, and... he just didn't have an inch then, Huntley, but he certainly was in the area. As the umpire will throw it up again. Danahy jumped early. Hands on the footy. Magpies through Joel Smith. And the ball goes over the line again, 40 out from goal.
Wrong vintage.
Wrong, yeah, that's exactly right. Long time ago. Square 9-6-60. Magpies 5-4-34. What's that? 8 minutes into the third, thanks to Bendigo Bank on Big Footy, Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Dogs come away from the stoppage here, but it comes back into the forward 50 for the Magpies through Graham. Kieran attacked the footy, came away with it, tumbled one out wide to a diving Much, who got slammed by Robbins on the outer side. Good physical stuff from Adam Robinson. And a ball up at left half forward for the Magpies. It was a nervous exit from Kieran, and Much got absolutely hammered as he dived back on top of the football. Geary now from the restart across half-back.
That's a good
Lowry
tackle.
was tackled well, and that's Robinson again, who's had a couple of good moments
PP patch.
in the last 30 seconds. Certainly is. Needs to use the footy here, about 80 metres out from goal. It's a horrible-looking dead pigeon of a thing to centre-half forward.
It is.
And Tommy Thomas stood under it. He can spread the dogs out wide to Travis Baird, who's got an open forward line with his brother breaking into it. It's a wonderfully weighted kick. Rosengren goes and goes. It'll bounce. It's knocked away from him. Gee, it rolled about 80 metres off the boot of Travis Baird, and Rosengren tracked it all the way to the line but couldn't get it through for a goal. 9-7-61 Golden Square, 5-4-34 the Magpies, 7.5 gone third term. That is thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Reece Jenkins goes short into the back pocket and finds Joel Smith. By footy goes short and finds Schultz.
Well, it's well done by Robbins in the defensive zone then, because if he had went to ground, it would have been an easy goal for Golden Square. Kept his feet and had to shepherd the ball, get close to the ball as well.
And I'll tell you what, Braden Blake is beating Compton at the moment too.
Playing well, Blake.
Yeah, and to beat Compton, that's a really good effort. Now Noonan will dish it off by hand to Stevens. It's nervous. Back to Noonan off half back. Noonan gets away. Oh, he's just got a hand to it.
One too many, Johnny.
One too many, and you called it rightly there, Wallace. And Golden Square are going to be rewarded with a free kick, 40 out from goal. So I thought he was going to get away with it, but didn't. And Morecambe's going to get the free kick.
Yeah, he's unlucky. That was in amongst all that. It was some good play by him. He was really trying to clear the area.
He just did a fraction too much. In the end, he did get his hand to it, but he'd just been held on for so long.
It's a very long run-up.
Now Morecambe, he's got the wind at his back. Breeze at his back. Crosses the paint mark of 50. It's off the instep a little bit, but it's straight, I reckon.
No problems.
No problems whatsoever. Pops it through. Golden Square go to 10-7-67. Magpies are 5-4-34. We've gone almost 9 minutes in the third, thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yeah, just the result, that goal of a free quick kick across half forward for the Bulldogs. But we've seen some good goals kicked here today too, some classy goals. And on the other hand, there's been some that have been a bit dodgy, but some of them off the boot, the players have celebrated just like that time very quickly. They know it's a goal.
Bit of Dodgy Brothers action some of the
there's
time.
There's been some dodgy stuff.
There you go, back in the middle. Nothing dodgy about that from Blake, who won the tap and then had to try and extricate the footy as well for his trouble. Jack Geary dives in and a ball up, still in the centre circles here at Wade Street Oval. Beautiful sunny winter's day on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Blake steams out of the middle, tumbles up to half forward. Going to be a free kick coming to the Dogs. It will. It was to Walters, who did get paid the advantage. Handball to Welsh. Now to Geary. He's taken nearly by Jenkins. Good tackling pressure. Rosengren to Morecambe, who slips the tackle. Runs to 45. One bounce. Didn't take a second. Set it up towards Baird, who couldn't take the mark but brought it to ground. Tumbling in there was Thrum. Really well done from Robbins, who came away with the footy and then just about got dacked for his trouble, which wasn't particularly nice. Geary and Graham and Jenkins continue to have a little bit of a wrestle in front of us. Meanwhile, Robbins has got the football in the last line of defence for Castlemaine, and he'll try and relieve the pressure.
Oh, it's an ugly high ball. I don't like it. Why kick it there? He's kicked it to Jack Geary, who's taken a, easy mark in the end. He kicks a 50-metre kick in the back zone straight up. What do you do there,
Yeah, 50 metres up.
Yeah.
30 across.
I'm surprised Jack Geary had enough energy to take the ball. He's been in a wrestle for the last 15 minutes with two Castlemaine defenders.
Yeah, but geez, in the end, it was almost like a birthday present. I won't go early again and call it Christmas this early in the year, but
come on, Johnny.
Christmas in July as Geary crosses the mark of 50 and he puts it through. Good work, Jack Geary. 11-7-73. Golden Square 5-4-34, 11 in the third, thanks to Bendigo Renault on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yeah, I talked about some good goals. That's a perfect example. Outside 50. That's a big kick from there, but Geary was confident at the time. And you're right, Johnny, the ball came out of defence. It was a high ball. It was going nowhere. It's the worst type of kick you can make from defence, and Geary just stood there and said thank you.
So the Dogs have just taken the impetus here. Castlemaine need to answer, don't they?
They're barking, all right. I think at half-time, that old song, Joel, Who Let the Dogs Out? They're in full swing in this third term.
I think the answer at this stage is the Castlemaine defence. As the ball's in the middle, Geary's thrown to the turf and a ball up. Castlemaine centre in the netball, by the way, just arrived, took the sunglasses off and went straight onto the court.
30-7 at the moment.
Work. Middle of the second quarter, so had to ditch the bag and chuck the sunnies off and bang, straight into the action. Nice work from the netball, but it's all golden square there in this term. It's all golden square in the footy as well. Clever kick out wide from Much, found Anderton just forward of the outer wing. Oh, his kick on the right boot was smothered. Not a great effort at all, and Robinson sees it across the boundary line. It'll be thrown back into play on the outer side between wing and half forward.
Now, your mate Brett Cole, the runner for Castlemaine, he's not one of those basic runners, you have to say, Johnny.
No, he's a pie eater.
He tends to walk over to the and back.
More of a stayer, isn't he, than a sprinter, I'd say. Young Brett. Here's Joel Smith
He
going
has
through
played
the
a game the other day, but he's jogging now, Johnny, so you're a bit harsh on him.
He's got the speed up as he makes his way to the bench. Meanwhile, on the outer side, nothing happening, and another ball up.
73 playing 34. All the attacking here in the third term, the premiership term for the Bulldogs, as Blake wins the tap again. And I can't remember the last time that Compton's been beaten in the air in the ruckwork for a long time. So Braden Blake, he's a good young player off half back. He'll go down the line. He'll be looking for Tommy Horn. Probably held without the footy. Umpire didn't agree. Tracks it towards the line. Numbers are with Golden Square. They'll bring it back the other way. Put it down the line to the wing. They've got the numbers. Receiving a handball as Much. He goes to a teammate on half forward who now bang it inside forward 50. It's a poor kick and a diving
Good
mark.
defensive mark.
It's been taken by Jack Timmins. Gives it off to Graham by hand. Oh, it's a nervous kick to Robbins. Robbins, can he make amends now? He'll kick it long down the wing. Schultz is there. Couldn't grab it. He's offered support by Chester. Now Schultz by hand. Johnny Watson receives it. He goes inside forward 50. Danahy underneath the football. Couldn't get his hands on it. Anderson's there for the Bulldogs. Oh, he's nervous. I reckon he's been pinged by Danahy.
Yes.
Umpire agrees, and he's going to have a shot at goal. So good defensive work there, Danahy to... And is it Danahy?
Chester.
It's Chester. They've both got the green boots on. We'll give it to him, though. His father's pretty happy there doing the timekeeping, and we'll give it to Chester. Tried to get him up and about there, Worm, but he just couldn't get there.
Clayton Anderson, not happy, chatted to the umpire, said, what else could I do, the little champ in the back pocket?
Chester, he's hard up against the line. He's just shaking hands with what supporter there that says, give it your best, young man. He's only a young man too for the Magpies. Hard angle this is against the line. It goes across the face and in fact does not score. It goes out of bounds on the full. So score remains the same, 73 playing 34. It's Golden Square and they've done all the attacking in this third term.
The Dogs bring it back into the back pocket for Reece Much, Joel Peterson, John Hunter, Wallace Teasdale here with you from Wade Street in round 9 of Bendigo football. The Dogs by 39 over Castlemaine, and the ball is worked out of bounds on the outer side wing, and we will have a ball in. 9 points the margin in the game of the day between Strathfield Say and the Tigers. The Tigers kicked the last 3 of the half, and the Storm lead by 9, and Jock Clark with a friendly reminder that there are no fairy tales in football, and we'll get an update on that one as we go throughout proceedings this afternoon. Meanwhile, the Dogs up towards half forward through the agency there, and taking it well was Hood. He collected the foot. He had to sort of paddle it around and do a little bit of work. Eventually it's turned over. Osbro's handball wasn't great. Working his way through the centre of the ground though and trying to work it back was Jenkins. He lost the run of it. Then Toma should have been pinged for a throw. It was definitely the one-arm tackle, and no way Tommy Toma could have got a handball on that. So Graham's got it on the back edge of the centre square, drives it long towards half forward. Gee, Schultz probably got in the way of Horn there, coming back towards the footy. No talk between the two of them, but then a good tackle from Wayne Schultz.
Very good.
So front point of the square, Schultz has got the footy, goes inside the forward 50. It's a horrible kick.
It was an important kick, that.
Yep, and it was
straight to the opposition.
Marked by Humphrey, 30 out from his defensive goal.
Ended up with Anderson, who puts it on the boot and gives it to Morecambe. Peter Moroney wing. He'll now dump it down the line. Robinson underneath the footy, couldn't quite grab it. Jenkins is there, dishes it off by hand. They're away again. In fact, it was Timmins going to play the advantage to half forward. Schultz, oh, no one talked to him. He had a bit of a look in the end, and well, it's probably a little bit of lack of talk. Bulldogs now through Kieran. He'll go to the opposite side wing. You'll find Keating, who now dumps it down the line to half forward. And another whistle on play. A free kick is going to go the way of the Bulldogs, and it will be Thrum. Thrum with the footy, half forward. Only a slight little fella, Thrum, but goes hard at the ball. A dinky little left footer. That's okay. And it's Toma. He's got the footy, I reckon, over the other side as well. He kind of plays alike, those two young men. He goes short to Adam Baird. Adam Baird takes a mark at his knees, 45 out from goal.
They go to the same gym, I reckon, Johnny, those two.
What do you see him there, do you, Joel? Or?
Yeah, well, that's, yes. No. The only gym I go to, Johnny, it's not a gymnasium.
No,
I just know a
Lofty?
bloke with that name.
You can't allow Baird to have so much room to run into. You know they're going to go to him.
Adam Baird now. He'll get a good look at this goal. Goes right to the line. In fact, it might come off hands. Rosengren jumped about a week too early, and it is minor score. Golden Square 11-7-73, 11-8-74. Magpies 5-4-34. As we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
There's a wobbly kick outside, almost outside the defensive 50 from Jenkins. Found its way to Schultz. Schultz goes out wide for Horn, who's been very good this afternoon on his return. He was pushed as he kicked, and it affected the kick. And a wobbly old thing bounces over the line, and did it go over the fence into the bowling green?
Could have done. Horn was also saying to his teammates down the field, come up, give me something to kick to. He actually had no one to kick that ball to. As soon as it went off the boot, I think you're right, Joel, it's over the next part of the oval.
Yep, Zane Kieran's over there trying to fish it back from the bowling club.
He was signalling to his forwards, lead up, give me something to kick it to.
Looks like there's a bit of action over there at the bowls this afternoon as Zane gets it back. So someone's obviously helped him out over there. Hopefully he hasn't dislodged the kitty or anything like that on his way through. Centering ball now finds Tracy, and he's going to get a free kick as well for a bit of front-on contact in the marking contest. So right in front of the scoreboard, Mitch Tracy's got it. 18.5 gone in this third term on Bendigo's Fresh FM. The Dogs by 40 points as Kieran switches the play. So three of the young guns combine. He got it to Walters. Well done, Chester, for the Magpies. Handball to Smith. Castlemaine with possession, but they've had to work it back to go forward. Now to Graham. Right foot kick from Jared Graham. High inside forward 50. Dennehy. Good strong mark. Out on the lead, 40 out.
Good kick, Graham.
Takes the grab. It was a lovely kick to his advantage.
Because it made him, Joel, it made him run to the football so he could mark it. He didn't have to stop or prop at all.
It's a really good kick on the run from Graham. And Dennehy from 50 out. Do you reckon he's got the leg from there, Johnny?
I reckon he might have. Maybe the breeze might hold up.
Looks nice and confident from 49 metres out. It's a long straight kick. It'll hold up right on the line. It's fisted up in the air, and then again Chester lost the run of the football. Gee, the two sixes, Dalrymple and Graham, went hard. Eventually it comes back now to Welsh, who kicks it across the goal face. Nice switching ball, finds Much, who's got Baird over the top.
That's his Adam Baird. Still defensively. He'll go over the top. Oh, it's a poor kick. He was looking for Tracy, couldn't find him. Darby Simmons was there. He couldn't grab the football. Bulldogs are good enough, however. A long kick on the boot in the direction of Toma, who tracks the ball towards half forward. Over towards that bowling club there, Joel, and we'll have another throw in.
So a quarter, a bit like the second quarter, where another team, where the other team hasn't scored in the third term. This time it's Castlemaine. It was Golden Square in the second term.
And the breeze
haven't kicked a goal, I should say.
It's certainly a breeze, but it's not a howling gale by any stretch.
No, but there's certainly something that's having an effect. Let's see what happens in the Magpies in this last term, as they will certainly have the aid of that breeze, as the ball is in the outer side of the ground.
Free kick to Schultz.
Schultz has got 1-2 eyes, started to come back into the game a little bit after a quiet period.
He's just doing some wrestling off the ball there. The umpire said it was too high.
The bowling green side, outer side, which is the Peter Moroney wing. So let's not change that name of that wing. He's played over 300 games for Golden Square.
Might have played 368, I reckon, Johnny, in the seniors.
I should have read that over there, shouldn't I? But I was right, though, wasn't he? He's played over 300.
Yeah.
He's played over 10 as well. Tracy with the footy. Goes across half back. It'll end up with Coe. Coe's got a player on if he needs him. Doesn't go that way to the wing. Decides to go straight down the middle of the ground. Magpies need to be careful here. It's with Golden Square. They're out. Receiving the ball with Thrum. A left footer. Trav Baird's there. He broke. Got away there from Jackson Hood and took a relatively easy mark in the air on that occasion.
Yeah, coated half-back did a complete 360, Johnny. Lucky he didn't get dizzy.
Yeah, they moved it nicely though, didn't they? Looking for that centre corridor, found it. Trav Baird, who's so many times, Wallace, this afternoon's found himself in space in that forward zone, hasn't he?
It's too hard to beat one-on-one as well, so
Jackson Hood stands at about 25 metres. Not much of an angle to speak of. We'll get a good look at it. As in comes Trav Baird. He makes it work, but it's pretty good. He puts it through. That's his 4th of the afternoon. Golden Square are now 12.880. Castlemaine are 5.4.34. 22 minutes in the third. Thanks to Tintercar on the time on clock as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Is that 5 this term to the Bulldogs?
Yep.
Yeah, it's sort of it's mirroring what happened in the second term when Castlemaine dominated Golden Square. You're right. The flag at the moment's hardly even moving down there at all. But Golden Square dominated the contest, and as in the first quarter, it looked like Castlemaine not in the game. But you're right, John. Let's see what happens, I guess, in the final turn.
So the ball's back in the middle. Big lead to South Bendigo. So I think a blood rule maybe here. Is it Adam Baird coming off?
Yes,
it is. So
in the netball, Joel, 39 at the moment to 12.
better second term for Castlemaine. They conceded 24 goals in the opening term, so just the 15 in the second. Gardner Reserve, a fresh live update. Sandhurst 10-8-70 or 10-8-68 lead Gisborne 7-7-49. So the Dragons have opened up a little bit of a break in that game. In the other games, it was Strathfield saved by 9 points at half time. Eagle Hawk by 94. In fact, even 100 now over Maryborough, 136-36 in the game over at Barker's Oval this afternoon. Back underway from the middle here. The Dogs by 46 points, their biggest lead of the game. And now it's going to be a free kick for a dangerous tackle against Keating, I'd imagine. It will be, so did some good work there, Keating, but the big sling tackle wasn't liked by John Norton, so Osbro takes the free kick just over the head of his man in Horn. The ball floats. Millam came the other way. Eventually came to Kieran for the Dogs. Handball up the line for Rosengren, who tracked it. Then Baird went in. Might have been tripped, but Paul Hutchison didn't see it, so Travis Baird chucks the footy to him. And right on centre wing, we'll have a ball up. Broadcast side, the Magpies are 5-4-34. Yet to score in this term. Golden Square 12-8-80. 23 and a half gone on the time on clock. Thanks to Tindercar on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Dale Lowry did well. He gave it to Morecambe, who put it inside forward 50. Running under the footy was Toma. Adam Robinson, however, for the Magpies was calm. By hand, gives it to Hood. Then gives it there to Timmins. Timmins will bring it across half back. Bring it back to the broadcast side to Smith. Smith short by foot. Finds Horn, a cute little left footer to Jared Graham. Centre wing, so we've done a big circle here, back in front of us here, broadcast side. 80 playing 34, Jared Graham, a long high ball looking for Blake, used his body well, comes to ground, Anderson's there at ground level. Osbro just upended Anderson, went hard at the ball. Umpire's letting it go. Comes out to Chester. Chester dances a bit of a waltz, then bangs it on the boot. Inside forward 50, 48 out. Watson is there, couldn't get it. Good work there by Lowry. That's Dale. Ordinary disposal. They're good enough. Off half back. Jonathan Glow, he'll come into the middle and there will be away.
Yeah, thrums after the footy. Robbins stood under it, did well. Paddle it to his own advantage in the oncoming pressure. Then kicks up towards half forward. Nice kick for Horn. Horn's got Graham streaming back toward goal if he wants him, and Blake in the pocket. Blake sprung free, so that's where he goes. High ball, Blake in there. Oh, Graham came over the back, couldn't bring it down. Break at ground level, collects to tackle, dispossessed. They didn't even rush it over the line in the end, the Dogs. It came out through Dalrymple, who shares it out wide with Much. And at half-back, Reece Much can look up and see what his options are.
Well, he hasn't got a lot of options. Oh, good work. That's Toma, is it? He's got the footy. Now he'll run and go. One bounce, and he must have stepped over the line before he was away.
Geez, that was good work by Anthony Robbins across half-back. He took the game on, he got forward of the pack and delivered a really good kick to Horn, and nearly an opportunity set up for a goal.
Must have just stepped over the line, Thrum. He would have been away on that wing position. As Morecambe's doing the ruck work, Magpies, it's Jenkins, gives it to Smith, an awkward looking kick, not the required distance. Timmins will need to be calm, he is, he'll go over the top, finds Robbins. Robbins will bring it laterally across half back and finds Stevens. Stevens now, you're right, Joel, I like how way he goes about it. Dangerously goes back into the centre corridor, finds Osbro. He'll go laterally again across half back. So this is the yo-yo effect. They've gone back and forth to Jenkins. Jenkins now down the line looking for Schultz. Flew early over the top, got his hands on the football. Ball stays in. They're just slow motion football opposite
Self-stopped.
out of side of the ground, and it's kicked to half forward for the Dogs.
That it is. Anderton's after the football. Jenkins knocked off it. Robinson goes in, collects, gets on the right peg. Down the line, poor kick though. Lowry for the Dogs. Chips it short to Thrum. Barely the 15. Jake Thrum's got it 55 metres out from his goal. Humphrey leads for him. Goes longer than that for Travis Baird, who sets himself. Can't mark. All the numbers with the Magpies out the back. Robbins elects to rush it through for one behind. So Square got a 12.9.81. Castlemaine 5.4.34. 27 gone in the third term on the time on clock. Thanks to Tindercar as we take you inside Bendigo Sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. A fresh live update from Tannery Lane. It's the Storm by 7 points halfway through the third term.
As the ball goes out of bounds after a smothered kick deep in the forward zone for Golden Square. More news out of the Magpie nest. Not sure if the original info was quite right, but Zach Hansford apparently is back out there and he's okay. And Joel Smith has got a badly twisted knee, so we'll know more on Monday about that one. So the ball is thrown back into the hot spot here for Golden Square, only metres out from goal. Magpies have possession. Huntley will dish off to Joel Smith, who's been okay. By hands dangerously to half back to Simmons. It's high risk football here. Noonan. It's Schultz still on half back. It goes there to Timmins. Timmins now to Simmons. They've had about 8 possessions and they're still in the half back zone.
No one to kick to, Johnny.
No, Huntley takes a nice one-hander contested. He's going to move it their way, Magpies. 2 bounces. Got nobody. You're right. There's no one in the forward zone. It's going to be 2-on-1. Ball tracks towards the line. The only one within QE for the Magpies was Danahy. Couldn't get there.
In the end because he had no targets really.
Good result. They were all playing pushed up hard and there was no one back into the forward zone, if that makes sense. Now a ball will be thrown in 20 metres out from the Magpie goal. We're in the shadows of three-quarter time here thanks to Tindercar, the Tindercar clock. As a whistle on play, it's going to be a free kick and it will be with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it'll be Keating who goes across his goal face for Coe.
I reckon the umpire for a moment signalled the wrong way there, Joel.
He did. So Much has now got it. He's had it about 10 times this quarter at half-back. Been good today, Reece Much. Down the line for Geary, who's got Baird on over the top, flicks it in that direction. Toma ran past as well. Now it's with Toma, and now it's with Jack Geary, who's run from half-back and unloads from 55 to the square. Humphrey and Rosengren. Rosengren over the top. Marks plays on goals. Great transition footy from square. Jack Geary's hard running on the outer side of the ground. He thumped it inside the forward 50 and the Dogs kicked their 6th of this third turn. They are 13.9.87. Castlemaine 5.4.34. 29 and a half gone third term. Thanks to Bendigo Renault doing it for our community on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yeah, Golden Square virtually brought it down one side of the ground. The Peter Maroney wing without Castlemaine touching the ball. But the important kick was the Geary one. You mentioned it. Not only that he ran hard, but he gets such good distances with his kick to set up a clear goal.
In the middle of the ground, Graham did some bustling work at ground level, and they'll all jump on him, and we'll have another ball up. We'll do it a secondary.
You get that long ball coming in, Johnny, you know as a forward, it gives you an opportunity for a one-on-one contest every time.
Yeah, you need him to kick it to space, of course, as Toma receives the ball, and probably slung without the footy there was Adam Baird. Umpire agreed with me, so Umpire Hunter got it right on that occasion. He'll go to the opposite side wing. He finds Geary. Geary will dish off by hand to Welsh. Now he'll give it to a teammate who kicks it long inside forward 50, bouncing footy. Only 10 metres away from goal. Magpies, defensively, they'll work it to the opposite back pocket. Laterally comes across to Noonan. Couldn't track it, and it goes over the line.
When you say Umpire Hunter, are you saying Umpire John Hunter or that you are an umpire hunter?
No, I was an umpire on that occasion. I reckon I got it right, Joel. So up they go.
So you could be an umpire hunter in future.
I could be. There's many things that I hunt, Joel, as the ball is in the hot spot. It's picked up by Morecambe, who'll go around the body and has put it through. Umpire, it might have been touched off the boot. They're just conferring. It was touched off the boot. So good work by the central umpire to overrule then.
Score review.
13-10, 88. And the Magpies 5-4-34. The shadows of three-quarter time. That is on the Tindercar clock. Thanks to Tindercar as we take you inside local sport.
That's political correctness, Johnny. You ever thought about changing your last name these days?
Well, I probably should, because the hunters and collectors are going. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, that's been brought up, Johnny.
Latte sippers and tree huggers, I think.
Come on, Johnny.
I think I described them.
Your
That's
constituents down in that part of the world. Castlemaine bring the ball back into play. We really are getting long into this third term. 32 minutes gone we are now.
Yeah, what's Mike doing in there?
Humphrey falling asleep probably, I'd say. Ron
Come
getting
on,
all the
Mike.
better players for Golden Square in his third term. There we go. So
Good work, Mike.
time siren sounds. And it is a big lead to Golden Square. They opened it up with 7 goals 6 or 7 goals 4. 6 goals 4, Johnny. I'll get there eventually. 6 goals 4 in that third term. They are 13-10, 88 at three-quarter time. Castlemaine did not score in that third term. They remain on 5-4-34 in the third quarter, going for 32 minutes.
It was a long quarter. If people will start thinking that we've got some kind of influence over Mike if he keeps up to
Well, we do. We do.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you one thing, Zach Hansford is definitely gone for the afternoon. He's got some ribs, but look, Cal Huntley still come into the game, and I tell you, the big ruck work by Blake, he's done very well.
And he's got ribs, or he's got a problem with them?
Yeah, got ribs and he's got a problem with them.
No, they're good to have both. Ball back in the middle. You wouldn't want a problem if you didn't have any ribs. It's worked out towards the wing. Well done from Noonan. Spun back into traffic. Didn't get rid of it, said John Norton. Free kick coming to the Dogs here, and Big Keating, who's done a couple of nice things in terms of tackling today. Handball off to Geary on the left foot. Centering kick. Morecambe up, or nearly taking a really good mark was Jake Thrum. Graham went to ground level, shoveled it out for the Magpies. Did well in the end. Schultz by hand. Back to the top of the defensive goal square for Timmins. He goes back to Jenkins. Last line around the body. Oh, good mark from Geary. Stole it off Robinson. Not paid in the end. Rosengren a high ball to the top of the square. Morecambe flies in. He can't mark either. They're throwing themselves at it everywhere, the Dogs. Eventually it comes out through Horn for the Magpies.
And Johnny Watson attacked that football. He won the ball, brings it to the wing. An awkward looking left, bouncing footy. Chester, he probably needed to keep his feet then. He just at the wrong time slipped over. Ball just is tucked in deep in that pack. John Coase just lifts himself up off the deck, and there's about 3 other Bulldogs below him. So
yeah, last player to get up was John Watson. You mentioned his work, cross half back, really, really strong work.
Yeah, love the way that he attacked the footy. Up they go in the ruck. Danahy jumped high, won the tack for the Magpies. Just in the bottom of the pack there, Dale Lowry. Speaking of people at the bottom of packs, none better than him. So we're on the wing. It's 88 playing 34, and this is how good I am, Joel. I'm going to give it straight to you.
Well, you're a charitable bloke, Johnny. Very, very nicely done from you as Geary goes up and the ball up. Clearly not an inside mid. I can't get a clearance either. Three-quarter time in the A-grade netball. Golden Square 57 lead, Castlemaine 23. Probably a few that predicted maybe a bigger scoreline than that. The Magpies not doing too badly, holding their own at least since quarter time. Kieran goes in. He spun around in the tackle. Gang tackle by Graham and Schultz and Horn. So there was three Magpies in there and a ball up, and I'm so nice, Johnny, I'm going to give it back to you. Still right in front of us. Hasn't moved at all.
Let's see if I can get it out of here. Danahy jumped early as well. Comes to ground level. Johnny Watson, he squeezes the ball out to Chester. He squeezes it to Danahy. We've got a lot of squeezing going on in there. Robbins threw that footy. Umpire let it go.
Any of us up here.
Watson, squeezer, we should go with, as the ball is smothered off the boot of Jack Geary, and he gets up a little bit lame. Probably got just a little bit of a jarring of the knee, and the ball tumbles over the line. And in front of us, we're going to have another throw in. 88 playing 34. That's 13-10 playing 5-4. Castlemaine are kicking to the end where all the scoring has been done thus far. So let's see how they can go. Blake wins the ruck, gives it to Millam. Millam to Timmins. Timmins now puts it on the boot in the area of Danahy. It's too severe for him. Anderson dropped a mark he should have taken. Chester puts it inside forward 50. The 2 young boys with the green boots run at the footy. Can't get it. Now it is the Bulldogs, and they'll be away off half-back.
That they will. Humphrey has it out wide, sends it to Thrum on the outer side wing where he marks in front of Robinson. So Jake Thrum's got the football, going to get on the left, chip it short for Travis Baird, who's at high half forward. Between the wing and half forward, goes over the top for Lowry to Humphrey, who's run on, gets to 49, goes into the pocket. Toma through his hands, out the back. Adam Baird, can he collect? He can, but he was driven into the turf in a terrific tackle on the last line of defence for the Magpies. And we're going to have a ball up in the left forward pocket for Square.
John, are you expecting a second term type final quarter performance by the Magpies?
Oh, I'd be disappointed if they couldn't get 3 or 4 onto the board there. Just to make it interesting, Wallace.
Blake goes up, wins it down. Dogs come away with it clearly. Baird to Geary, round the body at half-back, good mark. And it is Humphrey who's got it. 51 metres out for the Dogs. It was a clever kick from Geary just to give some territory, and he knew the numbers would be there at centre-half forward. Now Humphrey goes inside the forward 50. Gee, Much made an absolute meal of that. And then it came out for the Magpies. Joel Smith ran into trouble, took Geary on. Not the man you want to be taking on in the tackle. That was holding the ball every day of the week. And Jack Geary will take the free kick from 52 into the breeze, not beyond him, but he might try and lay it off. He gets a lead from Rosengren, doesn't see much that he likes, and now centres it up, looking for Travis Baird, won't find him. Watson was slung to the turf in a tackle. Baird came away with the footy, threw it on the boot, high ball, it's going to be marked. It is. And Jake Thrum has taken the mark. Looked for all money like it was going to float out of bounds on the full, but Thrum's taken it, right forward pocket, tied up against the boundary line.
He's one of these players, Joel. He's had some work in this area of the ground this afternoon.
Had to kick from about 35 out.
Been successful.
See what young Jakey can do with this one. He's a spinner in cricket for Bendigo United. He might have to put a little bit of bend on this as well. He put far too much on it. It started right, and it was not coming back.
Didn't come out properly, that one, Joel.
At all. No, that would have been a wide if he was playing for Bucks. Out of bounds on the full. Schultz will take the free kick on the last line for the Magpies. 5 gone in the last term. Square 13-10-88. Castlemaine 5-4-34. No goal for either side as yet in the last.
Graham deep in his defensive
He's played
zone.
well, John.
Yeah, and so is Johnny Watson. I shouldn't have mentioned him before. He's been really good as Horn. He's taken a mark. Look, they probably haven't been the same, Castlemaine, since Horn hurt his shoulder, because he was getting a lot of the football and he was responsible for a lot of the forward play. On this occasion, he drives it long in the direction of Huntley, flew early, took a good strong grab. He was stepping around a player far too easily. That player was Dalrymple. Now he'll go long into the goal square. Johnny Watson is there, and it fades, goes over the line. We'll have a minor score. So the Castlemaine go to 5-5-35, Golden Square to 13-10-88. Big footy, Bendigo's Fresh FM.
So ball work back in for the Dogs, who are looking to run again. Humphrey's handball for Geary was nervous. Schultz nearly took the footy and took Jack Geary out. Then going through the traffic was Thrum, who goes to ground and he's tackled and gone. So be a free kick to the Magpies on the outer side. Wayne Schultz wanted to take the free kick as well. I don't think that's how it works. So Horn will take it on the outer side wing. Oh, dangerous. Toma nearly affected the spoil. Horn got the kick away, though, to Millam, who dropped the mark at centre-half forward. Had to go back and try and chase it down. Coe came away with it for the Dogs, to Baird, to Welsh. And Welsh chips into the centre of the ground for Geary.
Geary now, he turns and goes. Oh, he's got players on if he wants them. He finds his teammate in Rosengren. He's just going to stroll in. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. Oh, he stuttered a little bit, but oh, it's through. Yes. Straight through the middle. Geez, I thought that little bit of a stutter at the end might have put him off track.
There's
but
much ado about nothing, Johnny, that call.
Yeah, well...
I thought he's just waltzing in to kick it through.
Yeah, well, he's increased the lead. 14-10-94, Magpies 5-5-35. We have gone 8 minutes into the last, thanks to Bendigo Renault on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yeah, Golden Square, to me, look like they've got more left in their legs, Johnny, I'm telling you, in this final term. I think they'll run out, well, they're already comfortable leaders, but I think they'll run out comfortable winners.
That's the margin at the moment, 59, the biggest lead of the game for Square. 8 gone in this last term, and they just look like even when the ball isn't going their way, they can make the work to get back on top of it. Much got it from Geary and got it to Tracy. So Tracy's got it just defensive side of the outer side wing. Really the only part of the ground that's got a lot of sunshine left is that outer side. The shadows have crept all the way across the centre of Wade Street. Now they work it back to Humphrey, who's got her on the back edge of the centre square for the Dogs. He's chipped short for Anderton, plays on by hand to Tracy, to Toma, who stretches up, can't mark, brought it down to himself. Now back to Humphrey, who goes inside the forward 50. Compston in the area, Adam Baird gets back there. Compston did a little bit of ruck work as the ball piked straight in the air, tried to find Baird on the end of it, couldn't, and 45 out from the Dogs goal in the left forward pocket. We'll have a ball in.
So that Peter Maroney wing suggests he's played 360 68 games, John.
Yes.
Is that just here at Wade Street or overall his career?
I don't know. You tell me, Wallace. I reckon he might have played a lot more than that then. He's a great player, Peter Moroney. And I'll tell you who else is a little bit sore too is Braden Blake. Just keep your eye on him, as it is now the Bulldogs receiving the football is Coe off half forward. He goes into the pocket now, just bouncing footy. Thrum might have got one in their nose. And he's just front and centre, picked it up the footy, just put it straight through.
Doesn't matter.
Did you see him he was rubbing his face as he copped one, and then all of a sudden he was in the right spot. Didn't matter, Joel. So they've ticked over the 100 Golden Square. The Dogs are 15-10, 100. Castlemaine 5-5-35. It is 10 minutes into the last, thanks to Aussie Disposals, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
He's just one of those players that does those little things, just different little things. Sometimes I think he could probably miss a goal from 10 metres out, and then he'll kick one from the boundary from a possible spot. But they're a nightmare to watch, those players, because they can do things not expected.
Absolutely. Wouldn't want to be a defender whatsoever. 65 points the margin. Ball back in the middle. Keating goes up in the ruck. Been pretty competitive in there so far, and the ball goes to the ground level and a ball up. We want Tom Toma to kick a goal here, Johnny, so every goal kicker for Golden Square is a multiple. At this stage, they've got 5 goal kickers, in fact 6, and he is the only non-multiple of the lot. So that's what we're hoping for at this stage. Here's Geary up towards half forward. Rosengren, he's kicked 3, got it out to Anderton, who goes inside the forward 50. Thrum sat under it, couldn't mark. Toma's in the area, trying to just add his name to that list of multiple goal kickers. Here's Humphrey. In fact, it's Tracy who picked it up, goes into the forward pocket. Gee, Toma was working hard to get it on that multiple goal kickers list, Johnny. Couldn't take the mark. Eventually it's picked up by Hood, who goes across the goal face. Good switching kick, and he finds Jolie Smith inside defensive 50.
It decides to come back down the middle and finds Schultz. Yeah, Wallace, you're right. The tank is just about empty with the Magpies. They're just going through the motions a little bit here, as the intended target was Danahy, but over the back it'll be the Bulldogs again. Long ball inside forward 50. Floating across the front was Thrum, who took a, uncontested mark in the end, and he'll line them up for another goal. So Thrum is 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. Long shadows here at Wade Street.
It's about his 3rd shot at goal in the final term.
Jakey Thrum, let's see what he can do with this footy. It's a left footer, and he has kicked another one.
No problems.
No problems whatsoever. So Jake Thrum with another one on the board for the Bulldogs. 16-10-106. The Magpies are 5-5-35. 12 minutes into the last, thanks to Bendigo Renault, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Well, it was a courageous effort in that second term. Outclassed in the third term, and things are not looking good for the Magpies in the final term.
Not at all. 106 Golden Square. The margin 71 points. The margin out the road at Tannery Lane is 39 points, so the Storm running away with that. Dogs go inside the forward 50. Compston, good grab. Matty Compston's got it. 30 metres out directly in front, lining up to spoil this run of multiple goal kickers for Golden Square, Johnny.
Wow,
it's all about to come
unless he kicks 2 in the final time.
Come to a cracking halt. Compston comes in from 30 metres out, doesn't get an opportunity to sneak forward all that often, so when he does, it's good that he makes them count. That's exactly what he's done there. His right foot kick sails straight down the middle. Golden Square's lead goes out to 77 points, 17-10, 112. Castlemaine 5-5-35, 13 gone last term. Thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM, the thoughts of Wallace Teasdale.
He's playing deep in the forward line. It's hard to stop a big bloke like that taking a mark late in the game.
Fresh live update from Gardner Reserve. Very, very interesting down there. Might be becoming the graveyard again. Gisborne are on the comeback trail. 10-9-69. Sandhurst 11-11-77. 8 points in it at the 10-minute mark of the last term.
They're going to come again here, the Bulldogs, just forward of centre. In fact, a free kick's going to be picked out. It's going to go to the Magpies. So Tommy Horn with the football on the left. He'll kick it to half forward, looking for Danahy. It was a poor kick. Danahy couldn't grab it. Bulldogs will come again to the wing. Oh, a bit of a by Morecambe, sold some candy, kicked it down the line, and Reece Jenkins was there for the Magpies. Down in town, I know we don't listen to the AFL much, but the Tigers have been beaten by the Swans by 9 points, so there you go.
Oh, you're kidding.
No? So can you pick a winner or not?
No.
Harder to pick than a broken nose, I'll tell you what. This is Tommy Horn. He's on the broadcast wing. his second possession in about 30 seconds. Looks for Jared Graham, but over the top Orsborough, and couldn't grab the ball, and we'll have another throw in. 112 playing 35. Joel Peterson, this is your footy right in front of us.
Very kind of you, Johnny. Wayne Smith as well saying Miriamo actually lead Newbridge in that game as well. 7 points at three-quarter time. They kicked 4 goals forward and 1 goals won in the third term. So Midi on the comeback trail in the LVFL as well. Working through the contest here is Horn for the Magpies. Toma was taken high. John Norton blindsided on the other side of the contest, and a ball up.
Umpire Hunter did no good there, Joel.
No, I'm not sure the Umpire Hunter will take off. It sounds like the name of a really poor reality TV show, to be honest with you, Johnny. Horn goes through the pack for the Magpies. Handball to Graham. Graham's handball released Chester, and he fumbled and then went back and got it and fumbled and then tried to keep it over the from going over the boundary line and fumbled again. And we'll have a ball in 55 out from the Castlemaine goal at left half forward. 17-10, 112 square. 5-5-35 the Magpies. 15 gone in the last term on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Thanks to Aussie Disposals as Blake goes up in the ruck. Chester tumbles it inside the forward 50 for the Magpies. Kieran for the Dogs, though, does well. Switches it across the goal face to Dalrymple, whose kick didn't go exactly as he'd planned. It was chased down by Huntley. Huntley to Peake. Peake around the corner. Snaps a goal. Good bit of work for the Magpies. They get a late consolation prize. 6-5-41 Castlemaine, 17-10, 112 Golden Square. We have played 16 minutes in this last term thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Just shows you the value of just getting a hand in. Huntley got the hand in that caused the ball was out. Golden Square had a lot of players, then backed it up and then got it forward again. So, you know, that doesn't go sometimes on the stat sheet, but such an important role if you're playing deep in the forward line.
No coincidence as well that Horn has got his hands on the football a little bit in the last 5 minutes. So with him getting his hands on the football, they're getting it inside forward 50. Is doing the ruck work is Keating in the middle there for the Bulldogs. Just forward of centre here for the Dogs. A long kick inside forward 50. Intended target was Thrum, but Magpies did okay there. They'll send it to the opposite side of the ground through Darby Semmons. Darby Semmons will dump it down the line on the wing. It was a poor, ineffective kick. Ground level. Threw out a ball there was Humphrey. Just flicking it around back into the direction of Tracy. Tracy will track it into the middle. He'll pick it up by hand, dish it off to a teammate. They'll come to the to the broadcast side wing. Breaking here is Welsh. Welsh, a little one over the top. That was okay. He finds Walters. Walters, that's Tommy. Inside forward 50 to Trav Baird. Little bit of dancing action one way then the other. Then he stands, goes. Handballs. A bit lazy, Castlemaine. You need to pick up those players in. Welsh receives the ball. He'll go over the top to a teammate. In Thrum will go around the body and pop it through. Too easy, Golden Square. That is his 5th for the afternoon. Can he get a bag full? Let's wait and see. And Golden Square go 18-10, 118. The Magpies are 6-5-41, 17 and a half in the last, thanks to Bendigo Renault, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. And Too Easy, Wallace Teasdale.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's his second goal in this final term. Third goal in the final term.
Just getting it ready.
He's just on fire. What are you getting ready, Joel?
The bag.
What for?
Just to give it to Jake.
You idiot.
You never know. You might get another one.
Nice afternoon's work, John. You'd be happy with that as a half forward.
Oh, every day of the week.
I think that'd be a career high for the boy from Cuna. I don't think he would have kicked 5 goals too much in his career. Magpies come forward here. Peake's handball knocked down by Coe, who got it to Tracy, to Lee, to Much, and now to Humphrey inside the defensive 50 for the Dogs. All by hand, and then Humphrey goes out wide by foot to Baird, who runs the outer wing, kicks up towards half forward for Geary. Jack Geary's got it 70 metres out from goal. Lasers a pass for Compston. Lovely footy, Dogs. Compston's got it 40 out, 45-degree angle to the left.
Now, they say that Humphrey's a funny old fella, but I've been watching him. He hasn't cracked a joke all day.
He's been very good, hasn't he? Especially in this last quarter, running hard. How do you hear the jokes from here, though? How would you know? You got a microphone on him. Can you share some of that audio with us?
You like that, Johnny? That work?
Here's Compston. Long, high ball. And he's put it through.
He's kicked 2 in the final term.
Compston's got 2 in the final term, and it turns back.
I think I just said that, Joel.
Turns back to Tommy Toma to try and get our multiple goal kickers run back on. Well done, Matt Compston. Lovely finish from 41 metres out. And the Dogs' margin is out to 83 points. 19-10, 124. Castlemaine 6-5-41. Thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Nearly time on in this last term.
So in the A-grade netball, it's 79-30.
And it's all over.
I think you need to leave all the funny stuff to me, Wallace, after that effort. Now, 83 points, that's a game high.
Pass, Johnny.
As Graham gives it by hand there to Schultz, who just banged it on the boot. Will kick it to half forward. Coe is there for the Dogs. He'll send it wide by hand. A quick little kick. Oh! Becky by Adam Baird, who just flew early and just hung in the air. Fantastic mark. He'll now send it to the outer side wing. Here we go again through Kieran. He'll put it in the direction of a teammate on half forward, and a strong mark's been taken by Tracy. Tracy now goes to the hot spot. He'll look for Baird. Too strong with the body. He pushed. Looks like Dave Stevens just out of the way too easy. Takes a mark directly in front, and he'll line them up for his fifth. And just body strength, just outdid Dave Stevens then. And he popped it through. Trav Baird. So, good work, Trav Baird. Put it in the book really early. 20-10, 130. The Dogs, Magpies 6-5-41. 20 and a half minutes in the last. That's the time on clock. Thanks to Tintercar as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Oh, look, with the ball coming in, there's a bit of air in it. A strong player like that, he can just use his body as he did. Just stood there, just used his body beautifully to nudge his opponent out correctly at the right time. Take a strong mark, kick a good goal.
Great second quarter from Castlemaine, and we know what they produced in that second quarter. What have you made of them apart from that, Wallace?
Not much. Look, Derek Follow did say pre-match that he thought at stages and quarters of games they are right in it, then they fought right away.
Yeah.
So look, I was always doubtful they were going to have a big final term because of the running factor.
And they've been really opened up here in this last term so far. 7 goals to the Dogs after they kicked 6 in the third quarter. Good defensive work from Lee as the ball came forward for the Magpies. They're still getting their hands on the footy out of the middle, and they've had a couple of clearances here in this last term. Here's your man Humphrey Wallace to my man Toma, who really needs to go forward and get that multiple goal kicking action going on young Tommy. Now the ball's out wide there for Welsh, who lost it and tracked it back and did a little bit of a pirouette to find it again, all while his eyes were looking skyward. Now it's back to Geary. Geary goes inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Hood comes away with it, thumps it down. Lowry roves, fires and misses to the left-hand side.
Jack Geary's return, Joel.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Been good, been just his usual self. Jack slotted in absolutely seamlessly for Golden Square. 2011 131 Square, 6-5-41 Castlemaine, 22 gone last term.
Johnny's return, how you rated that?
Probably not as good as Jack's, to be honest. I think I like his beard and I like the tan, but yeah,
I'd have to be going well to beat Jack Geary, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
As Reece Jenkins kicks it beyond 50, and strong mark by
I look forward to the day you come back with dreadlocks, though. That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be good. Castlemaine had probably a couple of injuries too.
And 50.
Losing Zach Hansford, I suppose, that hurts them a little bit. And they, I don't think probably Horn was as good once he did his shoulder.
Smith in the first, 5-6 minutes of the game.
So Johnny Coe's been taken.
What are you not happy about, Joel?
Well, Johnny Coe's got a 50, so now he's going to kick a goal, and now we're going to be ruined unless he kicks
well,
two.
He could kick two.
Well, he could. Let's not put him out of the game, as John Coe just kicks nicely through the footy and pops it through as easy as you like. It's 21-11-137 the Square, and the Magpies are 6-5-41. 23 have gone in the last. That's on the time on clock. Thanks to Tindercar as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
You're a life member of the club, John, at the Magpie Lane. What are your thoughts on their contest today?
I thought they've looked better in places, a lot better, and I think it just proves that if you've got somebody of strength like Tommy Horn coming through the middle, if they can get a couple of good players, of course they've fallen away, but there was a few things that I liked, certainly compared to earlier in the year. Wallace?
The ball back in the middle. The margin is now 94 points, so it's sort of gone from a stage where we've thought this was a pretty meritorious performance to one now where you've really got to sort of wonder what merit you can take from 94 points.
Not a lot.
For the Magpies. Here's Thrum, back to Much. Gee, put Kieran under the pump, and Kieran was tackled brilliantly by Huntley and really didn't have a lot of chance to get rid of that. But Callan Huntley's got the free kick 65 metres out from goal. Strolls to 52, puts it on the right boot, away to the right. It was a good effort from Huntley, but it was always going to be one behind. 6:42 Castlemaine, 21-11, 131 Golden Square. 24 gone on the time on clock thanks to Tindercar. In this final term, we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM in round 9 of Bendigo footy.
Now, boys, of course I've got a tainted image, but do you think it's been as bad as what it is? What, 100, almost 100 points? Do you think it's that bad? Or?
Apart from one quarter, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So basically they've played one quarter of footy, the Magpies, but apart from that, Square have had no worries cutting them up, basically. That second quarter was brilliant, but they have been so far from that for the rest of the game, it's just hard to fathom. Apart from that, they've been outscored, by 120-something points?
Yeah, it's in the back zone here now with Tom Walters. He got tripped over. Umpire let it go. Offering him support was Keating. Did you see anything what Derek Philo was talking about before the game that give them any optimism for the rest of the year and going into next year?
Oh, look, I think you have to. I think you can't look at that second quarter performance and say it's all doom and gloom for them, but then you look at the way that they've played in the other 3 quarters and you sort of find it hard to get all that excited about. And Golden Square are a good side and we know that, but to just be completely outclassed the way they have been, not great. Sort of 3 of one and half a dozen of the other, I guess.
Well, ball's in the middle here as contest forms. Danahy was at the bottom of the pack, offering support to him was Cal Huntley as they dive in after
John,
footy.
I don't believe they've got a lot of leg speed through the midfield of their ground. They've got people that accumulate the ball in there, but they don't carry it and they don't gain distance with what they're doing. I think that's an area they need to look at.
So ball goes up in the middle. Meanwhile, down at Gardner Reserve, it'll be Sandhurst who'll win that. They're up by 19 points at the 23-minute mark, and Strathfield say will run out winners over Kyneton as well this afternoon. Here's Kieran at half-back, goes to ground, picks it up, did well, down the line, nice ball for Morecambe. Morecambe's away down the outer side wing here for Golden Square. He runs through the shadows and kicks it inside the forward 50. Not a good kick. Compson peeled off to the centre of the ground. Baird didn't go. And Robinson was let in to take the mark and chipped short to Schultz inside defensive 50. 26 gone here in this last term. The Dogs have slammed on 8 goals. They lead it by 95 points, closing it on full time at Wade Street in round 9 of Bendigo footy.
Reece Jenkins with the football. He puts it deep into the back pocket and finds Robbins. They cross the ball laterally now. Robbins will go back the other way. Actually, he's gone that far back. He's in his defensive goal square. Footy was with Hood. Hood will go over the top by hand to Joel Smith. Joel Smith, he's been okay, Joel Smith. He's been a lot better than I saw at the start of the year, so he's starting to work his way into senior football as he gives it by foot over the top to Robinson, he was good early as well. Just unsure whether to go here. Now they've yo-yoed back to Schultz. Schultz takes one step, then one bounce. I don't understand why footballers do it, but he did. He kicks in the direction of Danahy. Danahy's got 2 to beat. He won't be able to do it. Thrum is there. Thrum now comes inboard and he'll find Dale Lowry. Dale Lowry will dish it off by hand to a teammate and they'll come through the middle. Jonathan Coe receives the ball.
Can you kick it from here, Johnny?
I'll have a go at it. Why wouldn't you? He comes to Captain Jack Geary. He goes over the top by hand. That was okay to Welsh. Welsh will go back now to Geary. Back to Welsh. They're mucking around with it a little bit here. Deep in the pocket. Welsh will go around the body and he'll get one for one late. It'll go downfield and Compton will line up for his 3rd for the quarter, is it? He wouldn't have kicked 3 in the quarter in his life, Matty Compton, would he? Let's hope he...
under 9s.
Let's put it in the book, I reckon, Joel. Let's make sure he gets it, and he does. Pops it through, easy as you like, and they've been pretty easy shots. So Matty Compton, he'll be happy with that effort. 22-11, 143. The Dogs, 6-6-42. The Magpies, 28 in the last. That's the time on clock, thanks to Tindercar, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Well, we spoke a lot about Castlemaine and what we thought of their performance. Joe, I'm interested to know your thoughts on Golden Square today. They are a top 3 side at the moment.
Yep.
And as Johnny mentioned in pre-match with the coach of Golden Square, the final's just around the corner.
Absolutely.
Can you see them holding on to a top
September
3 spot? And are they improving as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think they are, and they've got players to come back. They've got Johnstone to come back into this side. I think they will hold on to top 3 because I think at some point we've probably got to be realistically concerned about where Sandhurst are at and exactly when they're going to get players back back on the park. I think they're legitimate top 3 material at the moment, Golden Square, and just pressing their case pretty nicely. The Dogs, they come forward again here. Tracy, the dreadlocked one, in fact it was Humphrey to Geary. Geary found Morecambe, who played on, went right, went left, went right, went left, then came back with a handball.
Now went home.
And did a little bit too much, and then, went home or went nowhere, either one. And Jenkins has got the footy inside the defensive 50 for the Magpies. Rarely stops trying, does Reece Jenkins.
He's a good player. I think he played Pioneers many years ago, Joel. He's brought the ball beyond 50. He's gone across dangerously. They're going to actually cough it up now. Toma goes to a teammate there who lifted over the top. That player was Welsh. They're hard up against the boundary line. Noonan won the footy for the Magpies, and he coughed it up again. And a little bit of tired, sloppy football by both sides there, deep in that forward zone. So then we'll have another ball up.
Their next month, Golden Square, they go to 7-2 and stay in 3rd today. Their next month is Kangaroo Flat, then they're at Strathfield Say. They play Sandhurst at the QEO and then host Eagle Hawk here. So pretty tough month of footy for the Dogs upcoming.
A month closer to the finals too there, Joel, I know.
Yes. Well, actually 5 weeks because the bye's in there, Johnny.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we're heading straight for the finals. It'll be over before you know
Ask your mate Bernie.
Deep in the back pocket here for the Magpies. They've got possession. Robinson won it, then lost it. And they as the siren sounds and brings it to an end. So Golden Square, convincing winners here live from Golden Square. They played at home today, 22-11, 143. Castlemaine 6-6, 42. And in my book, Joel, that is a 101-point mark.